We late as hell, hour late. In fact, I apologize for that. It be like that sometimes. You don't CP time. You got to deal with it. But it's no level cap stream, no level cap podcast. We back in for the monthly live stream. Just chilling out with y'all. I want to see what everybody up to first. What's going on, Rakeem?
Hey, what's good, guys? Man, just basically like everyone else in any type of association of hip hop culture, and some people who are not watching this Kendrick Drake beef. It has been insanity. It has been a crazy back and forth. It has been my lifetime paying attention to hip hop because I was really young when like a lot of the older beefs happened, like Nas and Jay-Z. In my lifetime, this has been the most intense, like more back and forth, even though one side is clearly winning right now to me. The most back and forth, like intense, everyone's paying attention to a rap beef of this era. And it's kind of interesting. It's really cool to watch in real time how everyone on my TL, people don't even listen to hip hop like that, are paying attention to it. It's interesting.
I agree. I want to 100% agree. I'm not gonna waste a lot of time. What's going on, Devin?
Not much, man. Not too long. Got off work. Was tired from that. But it seems like, as Rakeem just mentioned, the interwebs has been set ablaze by this fierce battle that's between these two titans in the hip hop industry, and one of them is cooking the other. But
Not wrong.
it seems like
You not wrong.
it almost seems like everything else just stopped. Gaming stuff stopped. Everybody's just like Kendrick and Drake. So
I mean, this is it's crazy. It's kind of a good time for this though, because like when you think about it, ain't nothing going on. Ain't no big movie out right now that I can think of. Ain't no video game out at the moment. Like we about a month away from the Game Award. Well, not the Game Awards, Summer Game Fest. I'll bring that up a little bit later after we talk about this Drake Kendrick thing a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
We out of like it's there's nothing going on, so it's like the perfect time, and it's right before the summer, so it's the perfect time to start cooking somebody. You right. What's good, Will?
Nothing much, man. I've been just kind of relaxing, and these these past couple of days were wild. Aside from me spending 10 hours playing Final Fantasy the other day, and then with all of what's
Me
happening
too.
right now on Twitter. Aside from all what's happening right now on Twitter with these two rap artists, woo boy, it's been you can smell the seasonings from a mile away. It's cooking out here.
Man, so Will has heard this track already. I know Devin has not. Rakeem, did you get around to hearing it?
No.
Okay. So this gonna be interesting. Just like it was crazy in the middle of the day. I think I was like actually working on an article, and then out the blue, Will was like, "Man, kid, you dropped another track." I said, "Huh?" So I finished up a little bit of what I was doing, and I just jumped over to see, and it was like, "Yep, it's another track up." And man, this one, it's I know the last one everybody was like, it feel like some villainous type shit.
Yeah.
Just the way like really the piano and like the venom that he was spitting on there. He was just like, I think niggas like you should die and shit. This is not that. This is a club banger. This is a club banger. This mustard on the beat hoe. This all that, So everything you thought about, like it's like Keem said before we started the stream up. Every one of these diss tracks has had like a completely different vibe to it. They have not been the same. And Not Like Us is definitely a new one. So let's just go ahead and get into it so I can let Devin and Rakeem hear it.
Aye. Mustard on the beat, ho, Debo, any rap nigga, he a free throw, man down, call like Amber Lambs, tell him breathe, bro, nail a nigga to the cross, he walk around like Tizo, what's up with these jabroni ass niggas trying to see Compton, they industry can hate me, fuck them all in their mama, how many options you really got, I mean there's too many options, I'm finna pass on this body, I'm John Stockton.
Karl Malone reference.
Beat your ass and hide the Bible if God watching. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas. Certified boogeyman, I'm the one that up to score with him. Walk him down whole time, I know he got some hoe in him. Pole on him, extort shit, bully the flow on him. Say Drake, I hear you like I'm young. You better not ever go to cell block 1. To any bitch that talk to him and they in love, just make sure you hide your little sister from him. They tell me Chubb's the only one that get your hand-me-downs. And party at the party playing with his nose now. And Baka got a weird case, why is he around? Certified lover boys, certified pedophiles. Wop, 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 wop. That fuck him up. Wop, 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 wop. I'ma do my stuff. Why you trolling like a bitch? Ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
You wrote this today.
They not like
Oh,
us.
yeah.
They not like us. They
That's a
not like
direct
us.
reference to
You think that they gon'
Drake's
let you
last track.
disrespect Pop, nigga?
Yes, it
I
is.
think that Oakland show gon' be your last stop, nigga. They cold foul. I don't know why you still pretending. What is the owl? Bird niggas and bird bitches. Go. The audience not dumb. Shape the stories how you want. Hey Drake, they're not slow. Rabbit hole is still deep. I can go further, I promise. Ain't that something? P-Rest stands for bitchin'. You Malibu most wanted. Ain't no law boy, you ball boy. Fetch Gatorade or something. Since 2009, I had this bitch jumping. You niggas will get a wedgie. Be flipped over your boxes. Or over your foe. The other vaginal option. Pussy. Nigga better straighten they posture. Got famous all up in content. Might write this with a doctrine. Tell a pop star quit hiding. Fuck a caption, won't action. No accident. I'm hands on. He fuck around, get polished. Fucked on Wayne Grow. He was in jail. That's conniving. Then get his face tatted like a bitch apologizing. I'm glad D-Rose came home. Y'all didn't deserve him neither. From Alondra down to Central. Nigga better not speak on Serena. And your homeboy needs subpoena. That predator moving flocks. That name gotta be registered and placed on neighborhood watch. I lean on you niggas like another line of walk. Yeah, it's all eyes on me and I'ma send it up the pot. Ay, put the
My
long
God.
leg on me, I'ma get them dropped. Ay, sweet chin music and I won't pass the ox. Ay, how many stocks do I really have in stock? Ay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5. Ay, devil is a lie. Here's 69 God. Ay, freaky ass niggas need to stay their ass inside. Ay, roll their ass up like a fresh pack of Zod. Ay, city is back up. It's a must. We outside. Ay.
It's a must.
They not like us. 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 Once upon a time, all of us was in chains. Homie still double down, calling us some slaves. Atlanta was the mecca, building railroads and trains. Bear with me for a second, let me put y'all on game. The settlers was using town folk to make them richer. Fast forward 2024, you got the same agenda. You run to Atlanta when you need a check balance. Let me break it down for you, this the real nigga challenge. You caught Future when you didn't see the club. Ay, what? Lil' baby help you get your lingo up. What? 21 get your first street cred. Thug make you feel like you a slime in your head. Ay, what? Quavo said you can be from Northside. What? 2 Chainz say you good, but he lied. You run to Atlanta when you need a few dollars. No, you not a colleague, you a fucking colonizer. The family
That
matter and
was
the truth for the
really
matter. Here's
clever.
God's plan to show
Yes.
y'all the liar.
Extremely.
Wow, that's
He
a lot to
fan,
unpack there.
He a fan. He a fan.
Oh, yeah.
He a fan. He a freaky ass nigga. He a 69 God. Freaky ass nigga. He a 69 God. Hey, 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 run for your life. Hey, 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 run for your life. Freaky ass nigga. He a 69 God. Freaky ass nigga. He a 69 God. Hey, 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 run for your life. Hey, 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 run for your life. Let me hear you say OV ho. Say OV
Oh,
ho.
no.
Yeah, it's like that.
Step this way, step
Like-
that way, then step this way, step that way. Are you my friend? Are we locked in? Then step this way, step that way, then step this way, step that way.
Wow.
Somebody take Kendrick Michael, man.
Take his mic away.
They might have to, man. They might have to actually take away from that nigga, but that nigga might not stop. He might be 2 weeks from now, a track every day, like, yo, it's enough, bro. Okay,
Man.
we got it.
It's enough.
It's
I
enough,
think
bro.
this is. I don't think you can beat this. Like, as far as like without Drake saying something else, I don't think there's a purpose to saying anything else after this. Cause like he done turned it into a club hit. Like he got people saying certified lover boy, certified pedophile. Like, bro, you like destroying that man's legacy. And I'm with it. Cause I mean, like if you did
Extremely
any
hard.
of that shit, you deserve all of it.
Oh yeah.
Man, this is a. I told Devin this. I said, man, I'm out there. At some point, I might remove myself to keep my spirit from the beef because this shit it's so negative. It's starting to pull me towards hatred, and I even have like, no, I gotta take a little bit of break.
I mean,
Or Kendrick
all
pull me
gotta
to
fly
the
away.
If they all sounded like Meet the Grams, I would be like, yeah, I can't keep this up.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
like the fact that he turned this one into a club hit was like, yeah.
It is
Everybody
interesting.
Say what?
It is interesting though that like Meet the Grams at such a very serious tone where you talk to each individual family member.
Oh yeah.
In a very dark, very specific, methodical way.
Yep.
Very serious, juxtaposing Drake's track where he Drake in his last track played off of his drop of Give Me 50 into this track and kind of paralleled off of that track into a mainly more focused track on Kendrick and still dissed other people. I saw some people had some complaints that like one of the issues they had with like Drake trying to go at it, like you need to go at Kendrick. These other you just go at Kendrick. Like this is dividing your attention. You need to go at this dude and this dude only.
That is correct. That's another reason why I'm like, even if you're a Drake fan, like you got to be like, nah. Like at this point, Kendrick is on your head way more than them other dudes are. Like the idea that you still bringing up Weeknd and Rick Ross and A$AP Rocky and all of that, like, nah, bro, like them not your problem no more. Cause they had they little 1 or 2 shots at you and they moved on. Like this your
Except
problem.
Rick Ross main hating that man every day.
I mean, not only is Rick Ross hating that man every day, Rick Ross
right
played
now.
this song at a party.
He did.
Had that song bumping.
Man.
And it sounded like it fit there too, which is, I mean, like
it did.
Jesus.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. That scene from the Boondocks that be rotating on Twitter, it always rings true. Cause every time I hear these diss songs, I'm like, man, what did he do to make these niggas that mad?
Facts.
God, dog, like they hate this man. Like this is real. I don't think I've ever hated someone in my personal life that I've met ever like this. Like,
Drake,
I've never gotten that level.
Kanye told y'all about this nigga. Kanye said Drake got a bad habit of like doing all types of like snake behind the back, like stab you in the back type shit. When he got a problem with you, like he'll try to fuck with like a girl that was in your life. Like it may not be your current girl. It might just be a girl that you dated and really cared about at one point. He just like doing that shit. Just
he
to
likes
fuck
embarrassing people.
Yeah.
He's
You
really
can
big
only-
on
Light skin behavior.
Yeah, he's really big on like having the pomp and circumstance around the embarrassment, let you know it was him, and like come out the bigger man. Like, I mean, we've seen that before with his disses, and then like, and for a while he was just doing that shit till the Pusha T shit happened.
Yep.
That was like the first time he really got humbled in front of the whole world. But like you said, we talked about that. Like Pusha T just isn't enough of a crossover artist where like his fan base would care as much. This is the first time we're like, no, people listen to Kendrick on a large scale. You got to pay attention to this.
I mean, the story of Adi Dawn is still like one of the best diss tracks ever. But I seen somebody the other day like, yeah, Pusha T's last album sold 50,000. So I mean, like that should let you know where people's heads is at. But like, you can't pull that with Drake or with Kendrick. Like Kendrick is very clearly one of the biggest artists in the game. So you can't just try to big bro him like that to be like, yeah, I make more money than you. Like that shit not gonna work. I mean, it can work as like a final way to get out the beef. Like if his last way of getting out the beef is just to rap about how much money he got and I'm moving on and I'm not gonna rap about that shit no more and all of that, you get out of it because you got enough fans in your like your core fan base that just don't really care about rap beef, and they'll be like, all right, man, you know, he said he got more money than than Kendrick, and he right, and I mean that would be the end of it.
And I gotta say, man, like I mentioned this to you before we even got on the podcast. I just don't think Drake has as much hatred for Kendrick as Kendrick has for Drake. Like that well can only pull out so much.
That's what it seemed like.
I mean, like, I guess if you was like, if he's just like excessively petty, but like, and here's the other problem: a lot of the shit that Kendrick is saying, if it's not proven, it's evidence around. Like, there's some smoke, like some heavy smoke, even if it ain't like completely proven. Drake in that last song, like he lied multiple times. Like multiple times in that last one, he lied. Like it was like he said Baby Keem wrote Kendrick's lyrics. I'm like, no. We know that he didn't. In fact, maybe the other way around.
Probably the other way around.
I think they said they had some Kendrick reference tracks and shit like that. So, you know, and then he said that that Kendrick don't put money into his hood, and then people was like, that's not true either. We've got evidence of him doing that. So like. Already you lying, like you finding little avenues to lie. So already I got reason to not believe you. And so then when you say stuff like, oh, you know, one of your kids is not your kid, and you beating on your wife, like, I don't know if that's true. And you already lied about the other things, so it may all just be lies. And Kendrick is like, no, none of my shit is lies, buddy. Everything I say is gonna be true. Like the whole thing about he got some sex trafficking people in his camp, that's true. That's been proven. And it's like, well, why do you still have those people in your camp?
That's a little sketchy. I asked Rakeem, I was like, how did they find out all this stuff? And then it was like when they mentioned, he said, remember they mentioned like there's a mole. I'm like, okay, that makes sense now because
In the last track,
I was like,
that's the
how would
psychological
Kendrick,
warfare
how
aspect
he
of
get
it.
all these pictures? How do you know all this information? It's like, but I mean, just looking at like the type of person these type of person I think that Drake has evolved into, he does seem real like full of himself now. Um, I don't know if I would say he was always that way, but definitely now. I feel like if I were to choose like what person seems more genuine, like just more like a person you would rather talk to, it would be Kendrick. So I don't know, and
Mhm.
this it's not really like, well, neither one of them. I know neither one of them, and I'm not getting anything from any of this. But I think if I'm looking at a person like who has like the upper hand morally here, it will probably be Kendrick. You know, I mean, that's and you talking about who hates the most. I mean, this man Kendrick went in a detailed letter bars for each individual family member. That's hate. Like
That's personal.
Yes,
to tell
that's
your
hate.
son,
Yeah.
hey, you don't understand now, but play this again when you 18.
I think that's the part that's like it just feels like it's cutting deeper,
Yeah.
and also like the strategy around the diss tracks. Drake is normally the one who is kind of like the upper hand with being strategic with how he drops his diss tracks, the things he does around his diss tracks. I remember with Back to Back, which is one of my favorite diss tracks of all time. He
Yeah.
dropped Back to Back and he said in the bar, "I'm gonna send bottles to Charlemagne," who he had disparaged remarks for, and he actually sent the bottles to Charlemagne. That when Charlemagne commented on it, and like little events like that, and then waiting that time between when the disses came out the first time with the Back to Back, that was a big deal. Kendrick dropping a back to back on Drake and then proving that he knows more information by dropping his other track on top of Drake's track last night, which I didn't hate the track last night, but just countering that track within that time frame, that strategy, it seemed to pay a lot of dividends because the conversation is now moved from like Drake's big response to Kendrick countering his response more. People are talking more about like back to back to back attacks by Kendrick. They're not really lingering on that track that much. The track lost some steam it would have had if it had just been out there for a whole day for people to listen to.
Not just lost a bunch of steam, but like I was looking into it and people was like, yeah, kind of low key. Drake did a whole press rollout for Family Matters. Like he
Mhm.
was talking to different streamers
Mhm.
in the industry. He was telling them, hey, you might want to be on live when around this time of night and this and that. And he had like he shot a whole music video of
He
it.
did.
Went and found like
Mhm.
the Good Kid, Mad City van, not the exact van. People got
Yeah.
on
Nah,
roasting him about
nah.
that, but still, he went and found the van, shot a whole video around it. Like he had a whole tool, like a whole press thing ready for this. And then
Mhm.
Kendrick just like, so it was like, oh, I got my super ready, and Kendrick was like, cool, parried, and then also super. Now what? It's like, but I just had my, and it was gonna be real cool. Yeah, it was gonna be cool. But now you got to deal with this. Now what? And now it's
Yep.
like he took all the air out of that diss track, and it's like, dang, I didn't hate it at all. Like he had some lines on there. I thought it was kind of cold, and I was like, all right. I mean, like I didn't think it was enough to fight back against Euphoria, let alone 16 in LA, like 616 in LA. I didn't think it was enough for the first track, no, let alone the second one. But then for Kendrick to immediately be like, no, and I also got a third one, and now here we like, oh yeah, and I got a fourth one too. It's like this is
He dropped
so
4 tracks in
disrespectful.
1 week. Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
Yeah.
this is them playing chess against each other, and it feels like Kendrick's a little closer to checkmate than Drake is. Well, a lot more closer to checkmate than Drake is.
Yeah, he's a
I
lot
don't
more
know
closer.
what you do if I was in Drake's shoes, what to do in this situation. You can respond. I feel like this is my personal one, and I know me and Say talked about this earlier, going back and forth about it. He should just do one final track to get out of his system. Like going back and forth for weeks at a time on tracks, what's going to do is eventually it's going to exhaust the audience anyway, and people are going to start losing interest because there's only so much shit you want. Well, I think there's only so much shit you can talk about each other. But shoot, they didn't kind of proven that wrong already. All right, going beyond what I expected. But there's only so much ammo you have where the material starts getting watered down and it's less interesting. So I feel like Drake should just give it just one final big track and just go on tour and do his normal thing. Because at the end of the day, his fan base, he's in this exclusive airing of fan base where his fan base does not give a fuck about rap beef. They like what he does.
Oh, no.
They like his sound. Now there will be some people. There is a little bit of I feel like he has been he's been bleeding a little bit. There are people who I've seen like their perception of Drake. Like I saw online, I was like a trend of people saying, "Who am I listening to now?" I didn't know this about this dude. Like this is who he really is, and you see kind of some of his behaviors in the past, and like I've seen that. But for the most part, I think his fan base, he'll be all right. So I would say just drop one last track, give it all you got, and just go on tour, dude, or whatever you got to do. I heard he's holding up a track he has with another artist because of the
I heard that,
Cabello.
and at first I didn't believe it because like the same person said Drake was gonna drop a track later that night, and I was like, well, if he ain't dropped the track, then that other thing probably not true either. But then it turned out the track released, and I'm like, oh, so like maybe that. And then the thing is, the track he was gonna drop with was with like Camila Cabello, who had been found to say a bunch of racist shit, and so now you like, oh, so everything Kendrick said is true times two, because like you still doing music with people that are racist toward black people. Like, all right.
Yeah. And let's not forget where there
I'm
was
not
in
familiar
one
with
of
the
the
artist.
tracks. I'm
You
not
said
familiar
what,
with
Will?
it, but I was gonna say there's also in the other track where Drake accused Kendrick of beating his wife. Like we said, we don't really know if that's true or not, but you know, he shouted out Chris Brown, who was known to beat on a woman, and I'm just kind of like,
Oh, he was talking about
something
people
ain't
was
right here.
actually
You doing
beating
this a little wrong. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He
Like
was saying, you know, CB is a gangbanger, which and even that didn't sit right with me because I'm like, this man CB not no real gangbanger. Like, I don't care how many red rags he fly. Like, he didn't have no stripes with the gang until like he was in his 20s, late 20s, maybe even early 30s. Like, that's not how you become a gang member. That brother being extorted.
Yeah,
like he ain't got no stripes with them.
I do find it interesting though. Like this was like, and then listening to the tracks and some of the information that's gotten out. Every person Drake has gotten into a beef with, except Pusha T, because that's never gonna happen. He's tried to make amends with on some way, try to get back in good graces. Because for him, the money is the big thing. He doesn't. I don't think he cares about rap beef at all. I just think he does it because he knows if he can make himself look like the winner, he'll encourage his fan base, get more listeners. People will think he's cool. It ups his status in the industry. I don't think he cares about rap beef because he made up with Meek Mill. He made up with Chris Brown. Who else he made up with? He made up with somebody else too. He made up with like people he's had beef with in the past and done music with them. And he did a song with Chris Brown years later. So like, I don't think he cares about beef that much, to be honest. Maybe until
I half agree. Like, I agree that he cares about the money, and to him, at the end of the day, it's all about how much money he can make. But I definitely think he also wishes that he had the stripes that Kendrick has. I definitely think he wishes he was like taken seriously by like the serious rappers and the serious hip hop community, and like get some type of success beyond, oh, you know, that nigga sells the most records. Because I mean, like a lot of that comes down to like crossover appeal. And so like I think he does wish that he had like the same level of respect, and that's why he takes these rap battles so serious, because he's like, hey man, if I can win, I can be perceived. And while we at it,
and also he's a fan of battle rap, so that's on top of that.
Yeah, and you see him like he's at battle rap events and shit. Like he desperately wants to, and that's really what Kendrick is getting at. Like, yeah, you desperately want to have those stripes. You desperately want to be accepted by the black community, but you not really. And so like, but like while we at it, I've been saying this for a while. The thing that makes me happiest about Kendrick whooping this nigga ass is that, like, quite frankly, I was disgusted with the idea of this man being the boogeyman of rap. Like, oh, you better not bring Drake up. He'll do this and he'll make you look foolish. And just because he had that shit with Meek Mill, like Meek Mill wasn't ready. Like he thought he was ready. And quite frankly, Meek Mill was done a bad turn. I know, you know, he's like a meme in the culture right now. Set that aside for a second. I think Meek Mill was done a bad turn because, quite frankly, when you come up with this nigga don't write his own shit, that's supposed to be a knockout blow in hip hop. And he just didn't realize that Drake has a unique set of fans that just didn't care that he had ghostwriters. Like, you had done that, if that had been in the 2000s, and some dude, it don't matter how serious the dude was, if he had been like, yeah, I got proof that you got ghostwriters, that would have been it for that person's career.
Yeah. I remember when it happened that, like, after Back to Back came out, and that Back to Back we all know was the finishing blow.
Yep.
You could not come back.
Oh yeah.
That man was charting. He had a #1 hit. I was dancing to it. That's one of the best diss songs I ever heard. And then I remember Mick Mill lost it on Twitter. He said, "Is this hip hop now? Is this what it is, man?" He had a whole meltdown. He just couldn't believe what was happening. He was like, "Bro, I'm losing to this man." Like, it's like he felt betrayed by the hip hop community. He was losing Drake. I remember that vividly.
Well, he was right. I mean, like, I hate to say it, but he was right. Like, just I released another song, like, and it's a club hit, it's a banger. Like, women can like people can shake their ass to it. Like, I don't care. Like, you got ghostwriters. That should be the end of you. You need to be about the game. But no, everybody just let that man slide for another. And then that happened, what, 2015?
Yeah, I think around
almost
time,
a decade ago.
2016.
Around that time,
I remember I was entering grad school that year because I remember that when it dropped. Oh, I remember that vividly.
I remember when that came out. It was not a good time for me, but I definitely remember it. So that's why I'm like, it definitely had to be 2015. And like he had 9 years of just being like, people like, yeah, that's Rap's Boogeyman. And I'm like, Rap's Boogeyman cannot be a dude, not just from Canada, because like it's hard places in Canada. It can't be a dude that grew up in like a very safe neighborhood with a happy family and was on television as like a little nice dude on a teen drama and all it. That cannot be Rap's Boogeyman. I'm sorry. Like, I don't care. Like, maybe if he was just that brilliant of a rapper and he's good, but he ain't like Lupe, and nobody's ever tried to argue that. He's not Kendrick. Nobody's ever tried to argue that. So like the idea that this dude who raps cool but ain't like a top S+ tier rapper like that is the scariest dude in hip hop, I'm like, this can't be right. And the reality was nobody cared enough and nobody had enough clout to step to him and be like, nope, cut that out right now. And then finally, what's up?
My bad, go ahead. I was like, that's because he had the cosign of Rap's real boogeyman back in the day, Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne would just outdo everyone on their own tracks. It wasn't even necessarily beef. If he was on your track, he was going to rap better than you. You had to literally come with your best track ever to compete against Lil Wayne. I remember that like yesterday, years ago. And that's the guy he sat on the learning tree for. That's the guy he got co-signed by. So we gonna get checked by.
I'm glad you brought that up. Cause actually, Wayne checked that man years ago. Wayne said, "Hey man, you not like just because you under my label and all of that. That don't mean you got to rap like me. You not from my environment. You don't live no life like that. That's not who you are." And then he had this funny ass line where he was like, "Keep it Canadian, bro. Like you the friendly dude, you the nice dude. Just keep it Canadian. It's all good." And like somewhere along the way, he was like, "Nah, fuck that. Keep it Canadian shit. I want to be the tough guy." And it's like, but that's not you though.
That's not
like you not a tough guy. And like every time you try to go for the tough guy stripes, it's always through somebody else. Like, oh, his dad got mob ties. Like, I mean, that's his dad. It's like The Wire. Like, just because Weebay was tough, that don't mean that his son was tough. Like, Neymar wasn't tough. Like, what are we doing?
That's funny.
But
I watched a video today, and this dude was like, they're asking like, "What you do?" He's like, "What you?" He's like, "Oh, I'm an entrepreneur." He's like, what does that mean? Like doing what?
Doing what?
My dad, he sell T-shirts. It's like, that ain't you. That's your dad.
That is your dad. Sound like the underwater ceramics technician.
Underwater ceramics.
That sounds like you would hear some rappers back in the day when it was revealed they really weren't about that life, and they're like they rapping the life of like their friend or their brother, and it's always what somebody. I think even battle rappers had this issue with like they always talk about they got a homeboy. I'm the joke of my group that I got a homeboy for every situation, but like some rappers will be like, my homeboy did this, my homeboy got this. Like, but what did you do?
Nothing.
Yeah. You gotta be careful with that now because the Bobby Shmurda situation that happened years ago. You be careful who you say you did something.
That nigga, he was specific with it too, though. He
sure was.
Mitch caught a body about a week ago. Like, why would you say that? And then like it was literally true. They looked into it and it was like, yeah, a week prior to that song releasing, somebody in his crew murdered. So it's like, why would you say that? And I mean, like that line was legendary, but it would have been more legendary if it had resulted in like some of your homeboys and you really going to jail. Like that can't be it. But yeah, I mean, like rap has always had that walk that tightrope of like, are you gangster? do you just know gangsters? But I mean, like, Drake is unique in that, like, you can go back and, like, the thing is, and this is the problem. So much of Drake's early life as like a rapper comes from like that 2008, 2009, 2010, where like it was on camera, but like you gotta go dig deep and go to some like website or YouTube channel that's not got nothing to do with Drake or no specific interviewer, and you find it and you like, oh shit, okay, that's like you gotta unearth pieces of internet history to find out the truth of how he was when he first came into the game. Like I seen a clip the other night where it was like he was talking to, I think, Rosenberg. I think he was talking to Peter Rosenberg, and it was just like the switch, the behavior he had in that clip for him to act any kind of tough. I'm like, that's not for you. Like we can tell like he was talking about his upbringing, where he came from, like his little bar mitzvah, the school he grew up in, and it was all just nice guy, nice guy, nice guy, nice guy. And I mean, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't come from no hood type background. In fact, I think Rakeem is the only one that really came from like a hood type background.
Absolutely came from the hood.
Right.
But it's okay. My parents raised me right. I'm good, you know.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, you know, it's, I mean, you know, you family over here, so it don't really matter. But I'm just saying, like,
bro.
I ain't come from no hood type background, but like this dude came from like the super, like upper middle class type shit. And so for him to be out here talking all this grimy shit, I'm like, why? Like, who are you?
Like,
it's just so disconnected. Like, that's different from like back in the day when Ice Cube used to rap about gangster rap. But it's like, yeah, I'm from that environment. I just never engaged in that same, you know, red, blue, rag type shit. Like that's different because at least you came from that environment and you had to know what it took to navigate that environment. And it's the same with Kendrick. Like Kendrick was never no gangster, but like he came from that environment and he had to know how to navigate that shit just to stay alive. And like that's completely different from, oh yeah, you know, I saw it on TV and I thought it was cool and I want to be like him. Cause that's that nigger, yo. Which is literally what Drake said.
I do remember that. Woo, and that clip been floating on Twitter too.
To me, that's what Kendrick was referencing when he was like, I don't really like when you say
directly.
nigga.
That's the direct reference.
I feel like that's what he was like. People are like coming up with all these Byzantine references and shit. And I'm like, the only real crazy reference I got is he was referencing that when he was like, I don't want to hear you say nigga no more. Because that's how you said it before you really started hanging out with black folks. You said it with the hard R. And I'm like, why? Like, even in the rap songs, they don't say it with the hard R. Like, what's really going on? Like, I don't get it.
I ain't got it, man.
Just confused.
Yeah, we just don't.
I think also like a part of that change from back then to now, and this happens with a lot of artists sometimes, the persona is an evolution of like changes in the industry. Because like right when Drake came to the game, trap music was blowing up. And then slowly like a little bit after he came to the game, I guess. Was it like 2012, 2013? Like
yeah.
He only been in the game 3-4 years. And then like trap music blew up, drill music blew up. So everything was like super gangster, super trap. And I think a part of him, and we all notice this, like Drake tries to chase some trends to keep his relevancy. If he has to attach to an artist or change his style or change his outlook on tracks, he'll change it up completely. And I mean, all artists change to some degree. I mean, even Kendrick don't sound exactly like he did 10 years ago. That's just how artists work. But it's like he's chasing a particular like sound for the moment to keep his relevance until he moves.
Evolving your sound, which is what you said, Kendrick, and then wave chasing, which is what you talking about.
Yeah, you can definitely tell too, because like me and Sage talked about this ad nauseum about how like there's so many artists who have the same exact sound, the same auto-tune style, the same mumbling, barely like surviving through the track, like lazily talking. Like I gotta give the Migos credit. When they created their sound, it has a distinct rhyme pattern and style and energy, and like how they do the ad libs and everything. Like that was a really, like if you actually watch them in the studio, that's a well-oiled machine. They're boom, 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 boom. They're not adding in ad libs. They're singing the ad libs on time. Like doom, 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 ad lib, boom, 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 ad lib. And like now there's artists who are rapping who just like they're barely trying and just going through the motions.
Mama, daddy, auntie, uncle, cousin. if you all are familiar with two fighting games by Namco, my comparison of Drake would be that of Inferno and Mokujin. If y'all get that reference.
I get it.
He
I
just
get it.
Immediately got it.
pull out a style and be like, "Yep, that's it."
This the new style right now.
He the Edge Master.
Yeah, that's
He's Shang Tsung.
And it's
Ooh.
it's actually kind of cool. Like now I'm thinking about this now, like how artists have different strategies for staying relevant. Like 2 Chainz became a feature king. Like he just started featuring himself on everything. Young Thug was doing that too before he went to jail. Like he started his relevance by like doing a whole bunch of features. Lil Wayne, of course, did that strategy as well in between their big projects. And like sometimes I don't even release as much music. It's interesting to see how artists can evolve that way. But in this case, like sometimes it's wave chase.
I feel like 2 Chainz hadn't even put out. Well, actually, no, he just came out with an album with the end of last year or the top of this year. Yeah,
it was pretty good. Let's do it.
Yeah, it was solid. Like, I mean, quite frankly, it was a breath of fresh air compared to a lot of the modern stuff.
It's bad, man. When I'm like, man, like artists I didn't even listen to back in the day. Sometimes, like, man, just hearing them have a unique rap style makes them sound so much better.
Yep.
It really stands out so much to my ears. I guess because we grew up in that era where like all the rappers, there were people back then who were copying styles too, but we grew up in an era where there was like a lot of distinct rap styles, flows, cadences, rhythms. Like
you know what it is?
What's up?
It's too many people trying to rap.
That is a good part of it too.
Like, cause I'm on TikTok a lot, right? You know, I can't stay off TikTok. I know it's bad for you, but I can't stay off it. And something I've noticed is like everybody want to be funny, but ain't nobody got no original ideas. And so you'll run into like whatever the hot topic is of the moment, like 8 different variations of the same setup, same joke. Like, okay, I got to tell my version. It's going to be a skit, but the skit going to look just like RDC. Sometimes just taking RDC's tone and vibe and you like, bro, like this is very clearly like you stealing they shit. You stealing they style and you just pretending like it's yours and you not even saying nothing particular. Like it would be one thing if you brought up new points, new jokes and made it more interesting, but they don't. And that's when I realized, like, oh, it's too many of y'all. Like, everybody not cut out for this shit. But now it's so easy. The barrier to entry, like, it used to be if you wanted to be funny, you had to go to a comedy set. You had to go to a comedy club and put together a minute, 2 minutes, however many minutes. And the crowd would let you know, this shit ass. Sit your ass down. And it's the same with these rappers. It's too easy to be a rapper. It's too easy to record some fucking whack-ass video in your hood. Or even like not even in your hood, because some of these niggas not from the hood. It's like what's my man's name? The Cowboys, the former Cowboys player.
Former Cowboys player.
Position.
No, you know he was on Undisputed. They bring him on Undisputed a lot now. I'm blanking on the nigga's name. I can't believe it because he's a legend.
Are you talking about
Michael Irvin?
Oh yeah. Thank you. Him. Cocaine
Michael
Cowboy.
Irvin's son, like Michael Irvin's son, pretend like he from the trap. That nigga ain't from no trap. You know,
man, Michael Irvin's son called that man out on national television to stop doing that. I was
as
like,
he should
yo.
Have. Told him, look,
parenting.
bro, you stealing my shit. You like, this is my shit that I grew up with, and you acting like you went through it. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. But like, that's what happens. Like, you get all these dudes that's either from the hood or not from the hood, and they all sound the same because there's too many of them. And it used to be way harder to get somewhere in rap, and now it's not because like the barrier to entry has been lowered, and that's true for everybody. I mean, technically, if somebody wanted to be a critic, they could say that's true for podcasts too, and I'd be like, yeah, it is true, but also shut the fuck up, get off my podcast. You got a problem? You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, like that's. And even that, like even like internet comments, like nobody's original with the fucking internet comments. Because like anytime somebody says anything that's like a remotely hot take, the first thing people say is, man, they should stop giving out podcast mics. Like, man, shut up. Shut up. Like, you ain't the first person to say that. You're not the 10th. You're not even the 100th. Like, give it up, bro. It's over with. Oh, man.
Comment sections in general online have become cesspools. People repeating the same phrases, got the same trolls, the same bots. Like, I'm tired of these bots following me, bro. I'm tired of putting posts down. I get a like and a follow from a bot that ain't even human, bro. Like, this is ridiculous.
Speaking of which, bro, I'm glad you said that. Let me go check my Twitter real quick and see if my follower count has shot up a little bit and I don't know it.
I be trying to block the bots, but I gave up. The only time that really brought me out one time is like there was one bot that was like 16 and check out my OnlyFans. I said, get the fuck off my shit immediately.
You ain't finna ruin my reputation. Screw that.
Hell no.
6
I ain't no certified lover boy, certified. I ain't none of that.
Let me see that. Let me say drop.
Do we play this?
Block the song right now.
Do we check out the new wave of hip hop since
Why
we
not?
criticizing it?
We might,
Why not?
I don't know. Will we get blocked?
Not on Twitch. They'll just like mute us.
They're just mute us at this point, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, people. Was it Cloud Village?
You say the people of the Cloud Village?
Got one. Dude that had the sword. With the lollipop.
Oh, you talking about Killer B?
No, he talking about was it Darby?
Yeah.
Oh, Darby.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said Killer B, bro. He was on my brain the minute he said that.
Let's see what happens, bro.
This dude became new Kage, didn't it?
For sure. I'm a fuck I say, but on my baby popping that Adderall.
Cash Cobain, Ice Spice.
I was in a dark place. It was me and my pen.
Short.
None of my friends, none of my kin.
Okay, this is actually cold.
Watch Chance be the one that can't pick it as well.
Oh man. Well, I mean, like again, we safe as long as we on Twitch. Like on YouTube.
YouTube be like, look, turn the whole shit off.
Lord, YNW.
How did this man come?
I don't know. I haven't followed the case, so I'm not sure.
A Boogie with the hood.
There's one mixtape I really like from Boogie with the Hoodie. I hadn't really listened to him since then. I can't keep up with all the new artists now, man.
I mean,
Young Blue.
all right.
Thank you for actually rapping. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
This is the type of rap we talk about. Oh my gosh.
It's about the vibe, though, bro.
Skilla Baby who rap like Sada Baby. I got G-Herbo on there. No Diddy.
That's crazy.
That is wild that he got a song out of there.
Man, did Melly drop an album or something?
That's what I'm saying, did he?
Man, dropped the album from jail. What?
I know, right?
Huh?
Killer Mac.
Okay.
With Offset.
Killer Mike.
I give Mike a pass, you know.
Yeah. Anicia and Cash Cobain. No, it's not.
YG been there a long time, man.
I know, right?
Hey, 2 Chainz.
Oh,
Yeah.
2 Chainz. All right.
My cousins used to love 2 Chainz.
Girl, how could I stay? What can I say? How did it come to this? I guess this is our fate.
Those some curious camera angles.
Hey, this one of my guys right here.
I'm listening to a little Mexican OT lately.
Yeah, he's solid. I like him.
The first one really only took me an hour or two.
Here we go.
The next one is really about to bring out the coward in you. But now we gotta wait a fucking
Boy,
week.
if only you knew what was coming after that.
This man here is hilarious.
Put a shirt on.
Fucking Kingdom Hearts cover.
Might be on purpose. We at the point where people inspired by Kingdom Hearts, man, they old enough to rap.
I
That's
know, right?
I still will never forgive French Montana for doing that egregious
Man, I ain't
thing.
heard famous Dex in so long.
I know,
Yeah, 'cause
right?
he was beating on his girl. Can't believe they let that nigga come back.
I mean, you might put music on the internet. Devin, you alright?
I ain't gonna lie, I turned it on mostly to see Devin's reaction.
You gotta be one.
Clear my mind, can't find the time, and I got niggas out shit down. Wish I could slide the
One thing I want to hear more, I want to hear more variety of production, man. I'm ready. After hearing all the production this week, like, I need more variety in my production when I'm just hip hop.
Agreed.
Look, Tyler.
Oh, that's too unique. I ain't gonna even hear the beat.
What it?
The beat was low too. Oh yeah, I remember that song. He was mad. He was mad. Chris and Quavo had honestly more vicious diss tracks than probably Kendrick and Drake did, but they just dropped one and just called it a day.
Yeah, that's what they did. They
mean-
said they piece and dropped off.
Chris is likely to crash out and try to fight a nigga for real. So
Yeah, he would.
That's the
He
large
might.
part of why that
Do
beef
it.
just died.
Yeah, he probably would fight. Yeah,
Yeah, he would. I'm sure.
he would.
That man came a
can
long way
see it.
from yo. Don't know your name. Excuse me, miss.
Excuse me, miss.
I saw you from across.
Saw you from across the room.
Yeah, but should he not have stayed where he was at? You
What do you mean?
know, instead of trying to be like this hard guy. Like, if he had just, first off, he had just not been a fucking psychopath. If he had kept his hands to himself, he could have been a superstar.
I mean, that's a lot. You can say that about a lot of people.
It's a lot of people that could have definitely been
Just-
that way.
If you got that Michael Porter Jr.'s family shit in you, you got to take a serum every morning to keep that shit out of you, man. Sometimes it's in you, man.
Yeah, that's
Ain't no fuckery in my life, man. I can't
good
help
ass point. That is a good ass point. But man, like I'm sitting there like that nigga was really trying to be the golden boy. Remember he was in the fucking gum commercials and shit?
it. Mm-hmm. He
was
super
gonna be the
cool.
guy.
That nigga could have been like Mike.
He
He could have
Legitimately.
been like who?
He could have been like Michael Jackson for this generation.
Agreed. He
Yep.
had the talent. He had the dancing.
Man, my
the
little
singing.
brother loved that dude. When he was like a little kid, second grade, all he watched was Chris Brown videos. That's all he was doing dances and singing. He loved that dude. That dude had such a good image. And then
And then,
And then he went to boxing. And
hey man, real quick, Keem, have you seen this thing about Nick talking about Patrick Beverly?
no, I haven't seen it yet. But Nick
So I've
talking about
seen the whole journey, Pat. From when you
Uh-oh.
got to Houston, I was there. You were thrilled to be in the league. Happiest guy in the world, hanging out at Onyx at 3 in the morning with your ridiculous fake chains because you couldn't get into dreams yet. I understand. I was in a similar spot, buddy. And you went from that to whatever you've become, a delusional, cheap shot artist, misogynistic clown. Promoting your podcast at the expense of your career, which to its credit, let me check, while still behind Andy Roddick's tennis podcast and your own teammates pod, you are ahead of Bear Grease by Clay Newcomb. So good luck with it. 3 to 2024. You have been on the Jazz, the Lakers, the Magic, the Bulls, the Sixers, and the Bucks, and not a single one of them wanted to keep you around. And you ended that tenure by throwing a basketball at a woman's head, getting it back, throwing it at another fan, and then yelling at another woman in the locker room because she doesn't listen to your terrible podcast. So if this was your last moment in the league, good riddance. Won't be missed, won't be memorable. Unnecessary from start to finish, pal. So I've seen the whole...
Oof.
Man, wow. That felt personal.
That was personal.
Is this just is 2024 the year
Yes.
of just airing it out?
Yes.
On niggas you don't
Yes.
like. That's what it
That's
started
what
with
it's
that Cat
been.
Williams stuff at the top of the year, and it ain't stopped since, boy.
Yeah.
We airing it out in 2024, boy. We are airing it out.
I think
I'm about to open my closet and make sure I ain't got no skeleton somebody for the air out on my black.
I know, right? It's like,
you ain't got no skeletons. Your closet
sure
is
don't.
clean. So it's
But text all my exes and say I'm sorry. Whatever I did. If I looked at you wrong, my bad, bro.
oh sorry. Please.
I apologize. Don't
No,
hurt
but like
me.
I think it's because Patrick Beverly always the one that talks so much shit, but he can't back it up on the court. Which is why they see him. You see him get shipped around from team to team. Like it would be one thing if he was like Draymond, just like an irritant, but he was part of a championship organization, but he not. And teams tend to do better when they get rid of him. So it's like what are we doing here?
I think, but man, that's just an example of somebody who just having a hard time keeping control of their emotions because they're tough on the outside, but inwardly the cracks show at the end of every season.
Yeah, also, thank you, Sage, for putting it like that about Pat Beverly, because that was one of the main reasons I couldn't just really deal with him or just stand to even see him on my television or on my computer or my phone. Because I'm like, you run your mouth a little too goddamn much to be doing all
And I
this
watch.
talking and ain't doing shit on the
I
court.
actually
The
watch his
numbers don't line
podcast.
up, Pat.
I actually watch his podcast with him and Ron. I think they actually have a really cool back and forth with their conversations and stuff. But there are times
Yeah,
where I
they have
feel
all
like
right that.
he is so hardline about certain things that he has to address every issue. You ever met somebody like that who
Yeah.
like they can't let nothing slide? They can't let nothing go. Like everything has to
No.
be addressed. Like CM Punk. Like he's the CM Punk of basketball. Like everything gotta be in your face. I gotta address every person. If you disrespect me anyway, and even if I perceive it, even if you didn't actually disrespect me, the perception of disrespect alone is enough where I have to address it. Even though you didn't even mean it. You know, like what did he get out of talking that crap to the reporter? Nothing. He just made him
Nothing.
look worse.
Yeah.
I know, Devin, I know you didn't see it. So I guess I got to tell you, because I know you're not with this type of nonsense. Basically, Patrick Beverly like lost at his last game with
The Bucks.
the Bucks,
with the
right?
Bucks.
Yeah. I had to
Yeah.
niggas shift
The
around teams
Bucks.
so much. It's just like hard to keep track.
You don't know where the hell he really at.
He was with 76ers earlier this season, I believe.
Right. But yeah, he
Yeah,
lost
that's what I
his
remember
last game with the Bucks, and like out of frustration, not only did he like fling the ball at somebody twice, but like when they asked him about it after, it's like when they was interviewing him afterwards, like one of the women walked up to him and was like asking him a question, and his only question that he responded, he was like, "Are you subscribed to my podcast? You not? Then get away from me. I'm not answering your questions."
Wow.
I'm
That
like,
was so weird.
bro, you
That
not
was
that important.
extremely weird, bro. I swear he ain't.
Hell, nobody damn near is that important that you just like, hey, if you're not subscribed to my podcast, then I won't talk to you.
I ain't
Like,
gonna answer you. Like,
huh?
Yeah, Jeff
Fuck outta
Teague had
here.
a great response today. He said, "Bro, we as basketball players, we are not that important, bro. We just play basketball. We're not important enough to like talk to like if you don't follow my podcast, you can't talk to me like, bro. It's not that deep.
It's
But
not
Charles
that
said
deep, bro.
he told Shannon.
I love Jeff Teague, bro. He funny as hell.
But Charles told Shannon, he's like, man, I was fortunate enough that I play a stupid game and get paid a lot when we got like, he was like, I got there's other people out there, firefighters, doctors. They do stuff that actually like really legitly can make a difference, life or death, most of the time. But we just put a ball in the hoop, man. Just play a stupid game. Kind of the same sentiment, like he trying to. I guess you could say a person trying to be more important than they are. Like it doesn't really matter. Like okay, what does it matter if somebody don't follow your podcast? It's not the end of the world.
One follow. We YouTube. We have a podcast. One follow is not making that big of a difference.
Like, I'm a basketball player. Follow me. Listen to my
But
tape.
if you are watching this, feel free to follow and subscribe on real.
I
real
swear,
talk.
bro. If you see us, come see us.
We definitely appreciate it if you are following, but I mean, if you do follow, but like, it's not that important that I'm like, I won't even speak to you if you don't follow my podcast. Like, bro, who are you? Like, there are people that don't follow the United States, like the president of the United States on Twitter. And I don't care which side of the political aisle you fall on. There are people that's like, I'm not following him. Like, I don't care about that like that. And so for you,
exactly.
You say what?
Next time I go to get something to eat from a fast food joint, I'm like, you follow the podcast? No. I ain't paying for this.
The other half of that Jeff Teague response that was deep, that was really a deep cut. And Jeff Teague tell you, eventually you will learn after you're done with the league, like I am, that they don't really care about you like that. Yeah. Once you're gone from league a year or two, that importance you had, that self pride, that fame, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can help your podcast keep you relevant, but like once you're out of the league, you're forgotten again. Unless you were like, one of the best players of all time, like, and on TV regularly. Even really good players, if they're not on TV or in the public light, they still disappear.
Right.
I am always shocked because I mean, like, as famous as you think you might be, there's a lot of people. There's probably more people that don't know you than do.
Yeah.
I don't care who the fuck you are. I remember I was talking to a girl a while back, and they brought up Kobe. And I said, Kobe, you mean Curry? And it was like, oh, is Curry like the person that's like really talented now? Imagine somebody saying that to you. Like, imagine like seeing how much Steph Curry has accomplished, and there are people that still just like, who is that? And like
Yeah.
it's not just
Mhm.
him, like Tom Brady. Like I remember talking to somebody else and they had no fucking clue who Tom Brady was. I'm like, that dude has more Super Bowl rings than any NFL franchise. The NFL has been around for 70 plus years, I believe. I think it's like closer to,
Yeah.
it might be close to 100. They've been
Mhm.
around for forever. And one
Yeah.
player got more rings than any one franchise, despite him being around less than a third of the time than those fucking franchise.
Yep.
And so like that should let you know how crazy talented he is versus like there are tons of people that just have no idea who he is. And that's like the tippity top, like Keem was saying. Compare that to like somebody that's like, oh, yeah, I was nice for like a few years, you know, from 2014 to 2018. Like, all right,
They'll never remember you.
Okay.
they won't, like super fans will remember you, and
Yeah.
everybody else will be like, who is that?
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, it makes sense because like when I think about other sports, like I don't know an NHL player
Nope,
active.
I don't.
not a one.
I don't know
Yeah.
one.
I don't know one active,
I
but
don't
I
know
know quite
any
a
that
few
are.
that are.
Wayne Gretzky.
We have
baby.
a team. We have an
Yeah.
NHL team
Devin
in
said
our
it.
town.
Devin said it.
What's up?
Only nigga I know in NHL is Wayne Gretzky.
Gretzky.
That's it. I don't know nobody else.
The only
Man,
other
that's
person I know
crazy.
from the NHL is the guy that played for the team where y'all at, and his name is PK Subban, black guy. He was a star for that team, and he was an all-star. I
Man.
remember him.
I'm
Don't
going
know.
to
And he
get
was on the
that
cover of
right
an
off the
NHL
screen.
game.
We have an MLS team. I don't know them dudes.
I don't know them dudes.
I
In this
don't know
town, we
either.
could go see them. In fact, well, no, it's not soccer season right now, is it?
It should be right.
I don't follow
assume.
soccer like that, so that should let you know something. But like,
Yeah, that.
but like, I don't. I mean, like, we could go see them like right now, and I'm still gonna be like, I'm not gonna remember them niggas. Like,
That's why you
If
can't
they
never
play
get
good
too
enough,
big.
like, oh, good for y'all.
say what, Devin?
So you can't never
Yeah,
you can't never feel like you're too big and like you become a force of nature. I actually, we were speaking about Drake earlier. I actually think that was either Drake or somebody where people like, you don't know who I
Yeah,
am.
it's
I've
going
seen
on
this.
now.
I've seen this a lot where people like, you don't know who I am. It's like, man, do you know how many people there are on this earth? There is a litany of people that do not know who you are. They don't care what you do. They don't follow what you do. With sports, there's people that don't care about sport. They don't follow sports. They might not know who Michael Jordan is. And he's like, I think we think
Yeah.
because we're in America here, especially in America in particular, we think like this sector, like, oh, you should know who MJ is. Like, if you don't care about that, you don't follow it. You just might not know who that is. And if they don't know who you are, it's perfectly fine. But I've seen people like take offense to that. You don't know who I am. It's like, does it matter? Are you gonna lose sleep because somebody doesn't know who you are?
Yes,
Yeah.
because my accomplishments mean that everybody should know who I am, even though
It's
that's
just-
not how that works.
It's
in real
just
life.
crazy,
I mean,
man.
yeah. I mean, and then like some artists, like they'll be most well known at their peak, but then years later, not so much. I mean, I probably think there was a period like if Drake, like these videos we've been watching with these beef tracks, a lot of them get like what 9, 10, 12, 13 million views.
Yep.
If some of these had dropped in like, what was like a big peak year for Drake? 2014, 2015, 2016.
Yes, those would definitely be his biggest years. Because like, if you're reading this is too late, is often like people says that was his last great project.
Yeah. If you had dropped this, like a lot of these them tracks around that time, these shits might have like 50 million views.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, technically, Drake is supposed to be bigger now than ever. You know,
because
he
of
always
streaming?
got the billion views or whatever. He got all of the views when he drop a project and shit like that.
Man, I didn't realize like how skewed music streaming can be towards an artist until Scorpion dropped for Drake, and I was like, "Yo, you're throwing this album at me." I can tell the algorithm is like pushing this at me, and it's not just basically my interest. Cause I've definitely listened to some of Drake projects. I've talked to guys in the past. I really like Take Care. It's one of my favorite Drake projects. But I remember when Scorpion came out, I was like, man, this is just being pushed in my face. Like I see it everywhere. Like this is the power of money and advertising. Cause like I was gonna listen to it, but you really, really pushed me to it. I think that's a part of it. Like when you have enough money and capital and the advertising, man, you can make people try something out they never would have tried out because it's in their face so much.
I can do you one earlier than that. Magna
ahead.
Carta Holy Grail. I remember there was a whole thing around like basically it had 1 million
Him
copies
buying,
sold once it
and
launched, and it was like those were
he bought a
prepaid
million.
for. So what does that mean? Like you paid for 1 million copies? Like how many people were really interested in that album?
Perception is king.
Yeah.
One
Perception
thousand
is
Yeah,
percent,
king.
one thousand
man.
percent.
Because if everybody else is hype about it, I want to be hype about it. It's even part of like these beef tracks. Like everybody listen to these tracks at the same time. Like just being able to talk to other people about the same thing at the same time is exciting, and that causes more people to get into it.
It does, but I mean, you know what's crazy? Just the fact that right now this beef is that kind of proves Drake's point. I mean, Kendrick's point a little bit more, like way
Mm,
more, because like so many people that don't care about hip hop at all are suddenly invested because they're like, oh, what's Drake up to? And it's like, if that ain't a sign that you're not really part of the culture, that you've become so much of a crossover artist that like people that don't actually care about hip hop are suddenly paying attention. If this was two other artists that weren't big or that weren't like
no one would
Drake
care.
sized, nobody, it would only be
Nobody
black
cares.
people that cared and only hip hop fans among black people. But all of a sudden, because it's Drake and Kendrick, it's like, oh, well, everybody got to pay. Like you seeing people that otherwise, like Will brought it up. Pat, the streamer Pat Stairs, that like he was talking about it. I'm like, this dude don't know nothing about no. Like he even misspelled Kendrick Lamar's
Man,
name. He put two
He
R's on
did.
Kendrick Lamar's name. I'm like, yeah, this man don't know nothing about no hip hop. And
bro.
it's he not the only one. It's other people that don't know shit about hip hop, and they gotta talk about it because it's Drake.
I remember what was it Peter? I saw Peter Rosenberg online, and there were like certain lines. He was like, "All right, it's time for it's." It was like DJ Vlad talking about how he felt he liked the Drake track more, and Peter Rosenberg was like, "I think we need to stay out of this one."
Somebody else did that too. Somebody else quoted one of Kendrick's lines, and then like another dude that's also in the hip hop game, but it's like Mal from Rory and Mal. He was like, "Yeah, this
Yeah.
ain't for us, buddy. We need to stay out of this." Like, good idea.
Yeah.
So I'm playing the gaming shit, and I wanted to transition to a new topic for y'all. Let me
Sir.
ask y'all something. How do
Yeah.
y'all feel now that we getting close to the end of this generation?
Good question.
Very good
Talking
question.
about just in general, or about like about the game quality of games that have been out, or like where we
I
see it
guess
going.
we can break this down into two things. Like, how do you feel like the generation's been so far, Devin?
Um, I think it's gotten to an okay spot. I think it was a little rocky at first, and I mean that was just
Mhm.
goes without saying that the pandemic, um, hardware was kind of scarce at first. Um, PS5 was like trying to find a mythical unicorn. Um, games
Yeah.
weren't really there for both Xbox or PlayStation. Um, but I think we caught our footing. I mean, it's been a while. It don't seem like it's been this long as far as we in this generation, because it I almost feel like just yesterday, like, oh, PS5 came out. I'm like, man, PS5 been out for a while now. But again, we've never had a situation that I can remember where when a console came out, it just wasn't really available. So
Not for this long, because
yeah,
like it wasn't
Oh
until
yeah.
like last year I would say that you could just easily get a PS4.
yeah,
I mean PS5.
yeah. I think we've seen. I don't think like every game, but I think we're starting to see a good number of games that are kind of like pushing the envelope as far. I mean, this video right here is like about graphics and stuff, but just like pushing the envelope of what it seems like. Okay, what this new generation is about, tech wise. Um, and of course, I mean, by the end of it, I'm sure we'll just like every generation, it's gonna push it to the limit. PS5 is gonna be screaming just like the PS4s were. They're gonna be doing
Hollering.
just screaming. They're gonna make some
Help!
game God of War
Cut
descent.
me off.
And it's gonna be just hollering. By then, I'm sure that the pro version will definitely be out by then. But
Supposed
yeah,
to be out this fall.
yeah, yeah. But I think we're in a decent spot, man. It's been interesting also just the whole acquisitions of studios. This has been like probably one of the biggest like my times of seeing like just people just trying to monopolize on like publishers and stuff and developers, and it's like this is a weird thing. It's almost like the it's like almost a console wars in a sense adjacent. It's like, okay, Microsoft, I'm gonna buy these studios, and PlayStation, y'all can't make these games no more. And then PlayStation like, you can't have these games though. It's like, man, it's like it's a little weird because you got certain games you might want to play, but it's like if I don't have that console, I can't play it because that publisher just makes that game for that console. Like if you're a big Fallout fan, you can only play those on PC or Xbox.
Well,
no, that's not true.
Well, I guess games going forward, I would say.
yeah,
Maybe,
but how
yeah.
long is that gonna take?
Okay.
Yeah,
Because like the next game is not Fallout.
that's what what is it?
Elder
Scrolls 6.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So like you could potentially be looking at a Fallout
2029,
huh?
2028.
You better pump that number up. Those
Oh
are
my
rookie
God.
numbers. You better pump that number up.
Oh my God.
Cause like think about it. Starfield came out just last year, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so like, and they're still working on the DLC Shattered Space. That comes out this fall. Maybe they started working on not Fallout, Elder Scrolls last year. So you got 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027.
I hope this game is good. Oh
I
my
really hope this game is good.
man, if this game is good, it's gonna be lit. I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, it's from the people that did, some of the people that did the original Mass Effect. So
I know that's why I wanted to be. I love Mass Effect. That's why I want it to be good.
I'm
My
pulling
bad. Go
for
ahead
it.
with your story. Go ahead with your story, man.
But yeah, like the earliest we might see Elder Scrolls is 2028. And then like, well, maybe 2027 if they rush it, but like 2028. And so then you got to add another 4 or 5 years for Fallout?
What's crazy that by the time new Fallout comes out, we're gonna be in the next series, Legend of Heroes.
By the time new Fallout game?
Yes.
By the new Fallout game come out, Legend of Heroes might be over with.
Oh my God.
Because I mean, like they said, what's the game? Beyond the Boundary.
Yeah.
The new game. They saying they want that to be like 90%. 90% of the full story.
Yeah.
And so there's maybe 2 or 3 games left.
Yeah, I can see that.
They pump those games out fast, bro. It could easily be before the decade is over with that franchise is done.
We were lucky that last year they took a break to do East.
Yep.
So they could extend it. They said they were tired. They were like, yo, we're tired. I need to give them a break from this. They need to do a lot of project.
And then
Which
on top of that, for Kai or Beyond the Boundary, people also said like apparently the condo, like some of the people in this company was like, hey man, you dragging this story, wrap this shit the fuck up. So has anyone tried this game?
Yeah, I have. I have it.
I haven't.
How do you like it, Keith?
I want to play a little bit of it because I'm still so totally absorbed by Final Fantasy VII. But the intro was actually pretty good. I'm liking the pace so far. I'm very early though because I didn't get to play that much. But the intro I thought was solid. You got to escape this encampment that you'll be captured. You ride this griffin out into a village. They kind of get you to how the quests work and how the different things work there. The battle system still feels fluid. I started off with a thief. Trying different combinations of the pawns. But I haven't gone super deep into it yet, so I can't give a full review of it because I'm still early. But what I played, it reminded me a lot of what I liked about Dragon's Dogma 1 was just like going out and the exploration is just really cool. It just feels like you're in the unknown. It's like it's a hard feeling to describe how like you're in the unknown, but it's really interesting. It feels tense because you don't know what's going to come out of all the corners. And one thing Dragon's Dogma has always done that no other RPG or game I played replicated: darkness.
Yeah,
you were in darkness in Dragon's Dogma. My God, it feels like, man, it feels like real darkness, like real life darkness. You in the middle of nowhere, you don't know what you're doing, and then all of a sudden you see a giant lick just fly in the air. Zombies come up, and you just battling, and all you see is the lights of your freaking swords on fire and shit. That can't be replicated. That feeling that gives it. So far it's positive. However, I haven't played long enough to see whether cracks are yet. I can't really test to the full performance issue. I haven't had any performance issues yet. I need to play a little more. Once I wrap up Rebirth, I'm gonna go full on with Dragon's Dogma so I can give a better perception of it. But for now, I like it. That's the best way I can put it.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, Keem. What do you think about what's left in the generation? Like, do you think are we in for a better time going down, like the remaining? Because you got what the rest of this year, 2025, 2026, and 2027.
Okay.
What do you think? Like going forward, like do we have more to come, like better, or are we kind of the best behind us already?
Gaming kind of blew its load the last 2 years. Like, so many heavy hitters came out. I know for me personally, like just about everything I would play or think about playing came out. And now I'm just waiting on either sequels
I want
or
this.
games that are far out. Yeah, this is gonna be dope. Probably Assassin's Creed Red. But like, I think how I feel about the industry right now, and I gotta frame it a different way because of what's going on in the industry, is that I am super satisfied with the games I've gotten and the output of games I've gotten, but I'm terrified of the actual industry itself because of what's happening with all the layoffs. People are really getting tired of microtransactions and penny pitching. That's kind of itching their way into a lot of different games. The long development cycles between certain games. I think we're seeing it now kind of come to a head. Man, I love this game. I'm playing the hell out of it.
I know.
I'm seeing things come to a head now in a way where I feel like this isn't sustainable. And we're already kind of I think we've maximized as much as we can to the point where like we've gotten all these games out, highly reviewed. Most are doing well. This game unfortunately didn't seem to live up to expectation that people had for it at first. But if the industry itself, like the people who are working for it, are losing their jobs, people are getting cut, companies are having to cut back. So we saw the other day, Square Enix took that big loss. There's that leaves me scared that something's going to have to change, and maybe that level of output that we had before might start going down. And
we already,
go ahead.
We already seeing a little bit of that, like the output going down.
Yeah,
Sony just flat out said, "Hey, man, we ain't got nothing for you.
Yeah,
if you don't like Stellar Blade and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Rise of the Ronin, we know that ain't our shit, but we paid for the rights. If you don't like that, we ain't got nothing for you till next year.
If you don't like games from Asian companies, you ain't got that for you."
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's kind of my take on it. Like, I have this trepidation with where gaming's headed the next couple of years because I'm liking a lot of the games I'm getting. And I'm getting to the point also where like I'm getting so many of those games, I'm getting overwhelmed now. Like I can't play all these games. Like I still want to play Like a Dragon. I gotta finish Dragon's Dogma. We got Trails coming out later. I'm booked up for the rest of the year basically already, and it's May.
I'm not booked up, but I'm close.
So like,
I still have Red and Outlaws.
Yeah. And yeah, I gotta play Outlaws, and I want to play both of those too. We have similar interesting games, Sage. So I'm on the same vibe with you. So like even at that point, like I can't play all these games at the same time. That's like a stopgap. Like I can't buy all these games. Like financially, I just can't take that. I wonder if other gamers are having this issue too, and we're starting to see gaming slowly eat itself a little bit. Like some of these releases are eating each other because of all the games that are coming out.
I put that I put that up on Reset Era. I don't know if I explained myself well enough. Everybody was like, well, I don't see how you don't have to buy everything. And I'm like, that's not the point. Me buying everything is not the point. The problem is there are so many games. It's getting to the point where like it's not feasible and some games, like you just said, are going to be eaten alive. Yeah. Like there's just no way around it. There are too many good games coming out at one time. And it's like, all right, well, like, what do you do? Like, it's like that Square problem that happened like 2 years ago, where they put out 13 fucking games in one fucking year. Yeah, and it was like, oh, actually, some of these games didn't sell that well. And it's like, no shit.
We put our hands up. Let's put our hands up. Be honest about that. We called that shit before it even came out. We were like, this is too many games. We called
before,
it.
I made a list and posted it, and I was like, this is what's coming out in this time span. And I think it was like 7 games in like 4 months or some shit. I'm like, who the fuck? Like, Square, I know that like the audience for all of these don't overlap, but there is some overlap between them. and you messing yourself over because you try to charge full price for all of them. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want this game to be good.
Oh, Fable.
Yeah, it's time.
Yeah, I
Fable to
desperately
make
want
it
this to be
time.
good.
It's been so many years.
Yeah, it has.
It looks
It's been
like
a long
fun,
time.
but it also like, where's the gameplay?
Yeah, that's my concern. Like, when are we gonna play the game?
Now, granted, and actually, I'm glad because you brought that up a second ago. Granted, they did show like a few clips of gameplay in this. Like, you could kind of tell. Let me see when they get to it. You got the shit with the giant,
The beanstalk.
the beanstalk, which is kind of cute.
Yeah.
Very different direction for Fable to actually leaning on fairy tales.
Right.
There's a part in here where she's like fighting regular animals, and I'm like, that's clearly gameplay.
Mm.
Now, they could be lying with that too, because you can lie with everything now.
Yeah, out of so much I've seen throughout the years, I'm like, I ain't trusting nothing until I see actual people, developers on the stage
Yeah.
playing it. They get a demo or something. 'Cause
Yeah. But also,
Cyberpunk
like,
released a 45-minute demo, and that shit didn't mean nothing. I'm like, bro,
Joe didn't.
it was 45 minutes.
45
Like
minutes.
that. Surely that had to be.
It should have been at the
Also-
minimum 2 hours.
Also, like when I look
There
at
it is.
Fable, I'm like, okay, a CG trailer is cool, but like when I think of Fable,
That's clearly
like,
gameplay, right?
the big part of
I would
Fable
say
to
it,
so.
me,
it could, yeah.
You mean she threw the fireball?
yeah,
Yeah, like this. Let me go back right quick.
Like this right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. But when I think of Fable, like I think more so of like interactivity, like the activity of like talking to citizens, gifts, being able to like get people to have opinions on you and stuff like that. Like that was like the big part of Fable that like made it innovative. You had so much interactivity with the actual NPCs in the game. And I wonder if they'll like play that up in this game or they go in a different direction this time.
That is a good question.
That was one of the bigger problems with Fable games. They were always overpromise certain things, like, oh, we'll be able to have this level of interactivity,
Mhm.
and they never quite delivered on it in the way that they promised, with the
No.
exception kind of Fable 1. But every
Yeah, I
time
think
they
Fable
went
1 was
beyond that
solid.
with Fable 2 and 3, I feel like people were like, eh. And so like I wonder if they can like evolve that
Crazy.
a
I
little
like
bit more.
I like
now.
Fable too, but yeah, most people did not like Fable when I saw.
I really cared about this until it was first person.
Oh.
I'm like,
Yeah,
man, it's
all
a
right,
mistake.
Yeah.
But the other thing you brought up, like games taking so long, the industry's gonna have to figure that out. I'm sorry.
They need to.
I don't know what it's gonna take, but this thing of, oh yeah, new AAA game is gonna take between 5 and 7 years. Like, you got to figure that out. Because I was like on Reddit the other day, and there was like I was looking on like the Marvel Comics subreddit, and somebody was like, "Hey, what's happening with that Iron Man game?" And I just laughed because I knew in my head, I'm like, "Oh, they announced that it's early in development 2 years ago, which means you'd be lucky to see it 2 years from now."
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe at year 5, like if they were just starting development in 2022, then you can expect that in 2027 or some shit, right? But like to the average person, that's a completely unrealistic time. Like, you asking them to wait 5 years, they may not care about that shit that many years off.
Yeah.
Right.
And and as you start seeing more games come out, or more movies and more TV shows come out, and it's like, okay, well, I would love to play the game, and it's like, oh, there is no game. Like, the next game is 4 years off, 5 years off, 7 years off. Like, they don't want to hear that. You lost them,
man. So Obsidian has 2 major RPGs in development now.
This is the main one, but I guess they also do have the Outer Worlds 2.
Outer Worlds 2, yeah.
I don't know when this is coming out. I assume it's gonna be like a fall release.
That would make sense.
Oh, I mean, you know what? While we're here,
what's up?
What do y'all think? We're supposed to get a state of play supposedly this month. That's what the rumors have been saying.
Okay. What is going to be on it?
That was my next question.
They got to have something new. They got to.
There's got to be something new.
I'm gonna say Concord.
Concord makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Y'all think Ghost of Tsushima 2 gonna be there?
Maybe a trailer if they do have it.
Maybe
Nice to see
something. Maybe
something like
something
that.
being like.
Because like the
hey,
last
this
one
is
came
this
out what
thing works.
2020?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think it
I
was
think that was
2020.
right before the pandemic too.
It was either 2020 or 2019, but I think it's 2020.
I want to say 20. I always want to say 2019, but I think it was 2020. Man,
I
actually,
remember playing it during the pandemic.
seeing this landscape reminds me of something else. Not only is this squeezing out good
It was
games,
2020.
but like even 2020, okay, even mediocre, like good but not great games. It's no, I don't have time for them no more.
Sure don't. Oh
Like,
my God, it's a great one.
Like Atlas Fallen or Atlas Falls. I wanted to try that, but like, I don't have time for that shit.
Dude, like, that's a good conversation. Like, because there's so many games now. You really only want to try like the big ones you really want to play. And the games you would have tried, like those $30 games, those $40 games, those $20 games on the side. Like, I know for one, I knew for a fact I wanted to play Straight Blade. I was all into it. Straight Blade, I was like, okay, that combat crime reminds me of PS2 era action adventure games.
Let me pause you right there, Keen.
Yeah, go ahead.
If this game ain't good, I'm gonna cry.
I'm sorry to hear that.
You know what this is, right?
I know, right?
Because you want this game too.
Oh, this is Dragon Age.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
If this game ain't good, boy, I'm gonna be. I ain't crying like sad cry. I'm gonna be angry crying.
Man, this game ain't good. I'm crying for the studio.
Yes.
Yeah.
This game
That's
got to be
studio
good.
done.
They got pressure.
This is
Big pressure.
This is do or die for them.
No swerve. Big
How
pressure.
how good do you think they have to do? Like, how good do you think the Metacritic has to be for them to be clear?
Man, it's got to be like an 89, 90 minimum.
Thank you. I was thinking 88 to 90.
Because that last, I think, well, you know, for Dragon Age fans are going to buy it because it's been so fucking long. We're going to buy it. I'm one too. We're going to buy this game. Like, every Dragon Age fan is going to buy this game. But my question is, like, are they going to be able to bridge the gap and, like, now, luckily for them, there have been a good amount of like classic RPGs that have come out that have done well. So I feel like the palette for those types of games has kind of opened up a bit.
Agreed.
And they might be able to get a bigger audience than people who wouldn't have tried this 5 years ago. They tried Baldur's Gate or, you know, something like Elden Ring. They're like, oh man, fantasy game. I'm kind of into that right now. They might give this a shot because this is a lauded series that has a pedigree and a studio behind it. And they might have, you know, their friends might have told them about it years ago and they just never gave it a chance. Like, okay, I'll give it a chance now. Like Dragon's Dogma. Did nobody give a fuck about Dragon's Dogma that when they first came out? Dragon Dogma 1? Come on, talk about that game like this.
In fact, Dragon's Dogma 2 has already outsold both of the last ones combined.
So. And that took like word of mouth and a very niche audience and then like good marketing around people who are like, yo, this game was actually better than people thought it was.
Yep.
And that's basically what the marketing was. It was like people talking like, hey, you can do this in this game. You can do this in this game. You can ride griffins and do magic like this and action. And like word of mouth between people. And that kind of brought its legend up. And then when it came out, everyone wanted to try it. So I think like with Dragon Age, they might be lucky enough to grab some people who are still in the palette of a good fantasy RPG. And if the game is really good on top of that, it'll really knock it out of the park.
Yeah. Fair enough. Devin, what'd you think of that Metal Gear Solid trailer?
If it's good, game ain't good, I'ma cry.
If that's actually in engine like gameplay or just showing how it would look in engine, I think that looks solid from a visual standpoint. I hope that it's pretty solid because I mean it was kind of unfortunate that they released. I don't know what it is about companies releasing like super old collections of stuff that's just garbage. It happened with Grand Theft Auto. They had a terrible trilogy, and it also happened with the Metal Gear Solid. It's like I don't know. Hopefully they can get past that. It looks like so far, it looks like they're putting care into this game. This is one of the most, if not the most critically acclaimed Metal Gear. So if you were to remake this one and it just be terrible, you're gonna upset a lot of fans of this series. And I mean, we don't really have Metal Gear because it's like Kojima doesn't have access to it anymore, which is just a shame. It like literally that should be his property. Like I don't care if it was a Konami game. Like Kojima, that was his game. That's what he was known for. That's his style of game. Of course, now he got his own thing, but this looks solid just from what I'm seeing from a technical standpoint. Um, all they guys do is just do this and just do the game. I mean, and of course, like most remakes, they probably do the story a little different, add something here, but just make
Modernize the controls a bit. Yeah.
just make Metal
Yeah.
Gear Solid 3 with current gen technology. That's
Well,
all
let
you
me
gotta
ask
do.
you this: do you think you see it at the Game Awards this year? Not Game Awards. Uh, at Sony show this year.
Actually, I think it's about time. I think it's time they show us just a little
Because it's
piece of
been like a
something.
calendar year, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's time to show
That's a
us
good
like a
point.
story game trailer or something like a little gameplay mixed in between something.
Yes, because now I'm thinking about a lot of the remakes that are coming out that Sony's been showing off are like games like FF7 was like a game that put Sony on the map.
Mhm,
And Metal Gear Solid was also one of those games like on PS2 was like one of the biggest games on that console.
mhm.
Yep.
So that would make sense for it to show up at the show. Like Legacy to a degree.
Like Legacy.
So, Will, have you gotten a chance to play Emerald Beyond?
Not yet. I hadn't got a chance to start it, but I did play the demo. And playing the demo, I like it because I can see all of the little intricacies they kind of thrown in there. They kind of relate back to the series. It's almost like a little bit of a love letter to fans of the series. I truly think that if you're a fan of the series, hop into it. If you are not someone who was a fan of the series, I wouldn't recommend you necessarily hop into this game right off rip. But I would also kind of throw it at you like, hey, this is a nice little point because you can kind of get a gist of how these games play because they're not your standard games. They're not your standard turn-based RPGs from Square. It's so different. It's so out there. It's so wild. It's so weird. Like I'll just throw out like a couple of examples. Like the guy in the PS5 demo, he has like these four like different like almost like dolls, like mannequins. Like they dress like warriors, but they all get like different personalities, different weapons, and different styles of combat on them. One of the characters is a witch, and like she's going around like finding these lost cats, and the cats can actually be party members. Like that is like
That's
one of
cool.
it's like
That's kind of
it's
dope.
like Saga is so out there that I think it can scare people off because of how different and how difficult it can be. Because I'm playing Romance and Saga 3 right now, and I'm gonna tell you now, Saga games don't hold back and they do not hold your hand in any way, shape, or form. Like once it drops you into a story, it gives you a chance to be like, all right, go do something. But the question is, what do you do? In Emerald Beyond, it gives you a means to find something to do because there's like this system that like opens up these pathways, and you can go to a door, go in, and you'll get put into a scenario, and you can probably find a possible party member, new enemies to fight, new scenarios, and like they lay them out for you. And I think that's so cool because it kind of tries to lean you into the game more than just be like, all right, you better go do something. Go build some HP, go fight some enemies, and then go talk to somebody real quick because if you don't go talk to them, you ain't gonna know what to do next. Like that's really like Saga in a nutshell. Really, if I had to say so myself, it's not the hardest RPG ever, but it's one of
It's
those games that takes you being active more than the game telling you where to go.
I always find Saga interesting because every time a Saga game comes out, the reviews are always like ass, but like the hardcore fans are like, yeah, no, this is fucking great. Like the game, I've never seen a franchise get regular 68, 72 on Metacritic, and it just doesn't matter. The fans are like,
Yeah.
yep, I fucking want I love this game.
Man,
Okay. I
sometimes
can actually.
sometimes the industry's taste has doesn't catch up to what the fans want.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of
And
games
if I
that
had
I
to
really
be,
want,
I was gonna say, let me say
Come
this real
on,
quick
fam.
about the Saga series. I, in my opinion, I think Saga is like really kind of like not necessarily ahead of its time, but it's a little bit ahead of the curve in its own little way, in its own little quirky way. And I'll use Romance and Saga 2 as the example. So like when you start off, you're like I said, you're this king and you're
It
with
looks
his
so much better.
sons. You're his king, you're his sons, and you end up having to walk over the kingdom, protect it and whatnot. But then you lose your father, you lose your brother, and you take control of the youngest one for some time. But after you do like a certain set of events, you get like a time skip. And when you get the time skip after he passes away, you're in control of someone else. It's so weird. And then as you're going out, like trying to take back parts of the kingdom, you make friends with people across the way. And those people along the way, if you lose a character that's your emperor, you can switch to another person that you've made friends with in their lineage and put them in, and they can inherit the skills of the past emperor to put into place, and you continue to run the story that way. Like you get what I'm saying?
That's
It's
really
like
ahead of its time.
like it's really a generational type system in Romance and Saga 2. In Romance and Saga 3, it's a little different. It goes back to like the first game's like formula of like you have these 8 characters, you pick one and you run the story, but everyone's kind of paths kind of cross at one point, and you can still get those characters within your game. It's just a little bit more advanced. I can't speak for how Scarlet Graces does it, but Scarlet Grace and Ember Beyond are pretty similar.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Like that they were not the same game, but kind of working off the same kind of formula a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
God, this game. I
This
hope
was a
this
trailer
game
where I
is
was
as
like,
good.
oh, this game look
This looks beautiful,
legit
actually.
now. This
It
trailer
looks
was
good.
much better than that first trailer.
Hey, I
What
kind of
the
like the way this
fuck?
look, bro.
This shit had
That's a
everything going. I'm
pre-amp.
like, God, dog.
See, it's one of them games like I'm like, all right,
This
Skydiving
game
with
real?
free falling?
yeah, I need to.
See, this game real, bro.
It look dope.
If this game
It
real,
do.
when is this? If this came out later this year, this could be the sleeper hit of the year.
It's due out 2025 supposedly.
Man, this could have.
Lord.
Man, this cat.
Oh,
What? Chain combo, giant robots, dragons. Let's go.
bro, I'll go say Registeel from
We
Pokemon.
fighting the Reed Devil, man. We fighting the Reed Devil, man.
Like everything in it. Every time you see a new clip, it looks dope.
This
Oh my
Amazing.
God. It's a Sky Kingdom and a regular ground. I remember this. This would have had me lit. I was like, hold on now. Hold on now. Now I'm back in regular Earth, man. Hold
I
on.
agree with Devin. I'm gonna need to see more of this game because
I
like,
would definitely need to see more.
it's
of this.
doing too much for it to be a good game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Man,
if it is a good game, it's gonna be
It's
gonna
gonna
be a
be-
new
woo.
standard setter. If it hits it, that'll be a
Well,
standard setter.
unfortunately, if it comes out next year, it's gonna get swallowed up by this game right here.
Yeah, sadly.
Man, not a one of us gives a fuck about this game, do we?
Not really. No, I
If it
really
reviews
don't.
well, I might give it a shot. You know,
All right.
I'm
All
not
right,
a
all
GTA
right.
guy though.
Got a good
So
resume.
so let me say this: I'm not a GTA dude by any stretch of the imagination. If it comes out and it do well, hey, congrats to y'all GTA players. Have fun, enjoy your game, and have fun, yo. But don't ask me about playing this, yo. I'm just not.
What it does make me want is another open world city game.
Florida Simulator. is
Just
what this
not
is.
this. Because I don't know, it's just the vibe of Rockstar's games never really set well with me. I like Red Dead 2, but that's about it. And even that, because like,
Here's the
what
Red
other
Dead
game lets you
1.
do Western shit?
Red Dead 1. My God, I love that game.
Man, I hate to say it, man. We might be down 1 million, bro. Like, I thought 2024 would compete with 2025, but I think it's up, bro.
Is it?
Like, as JRPG fans, I thought we was gonna be able to compete with 2025, but I think we down, bro.
Nah, we down, bro.
Because not only
But-
is this game coming out in 2025, but the fucking Switch 2 is coming out next year.
Yeah. It's gonna be a defining. I hate this game. Wasn't as good as it looked. I thought it was.
I wanted this game to be good.
Yeah.
I did too.
They lied.
Hey, look at
Unfortunately,
that.
this
That's not-
combat.
We were
that doesn't
lied
even,
to.
like, you lying. You telling me that's combat? That was so unintuitive. Like you flipping up. Like, bro, that's not.
You
Is this supposed to be
lied
combat?
me.
I thought that's what it said.
This is just
like,
this is a cutscene.
Yeah, this is just in-engine stuff. Now, this is the combat. But, well, I mean, hell, it looks slow here.
Yeah, like that,
that's what
yeah.
I'm like.
Yeah. It almost reminded me of like those. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Actually, it almost reminded me a little bit of like the interactive combat that was kind of like in Sleeping Dogs or Sifu mixed in with Gun Fu.
Mm.
Kind
Yeah,
of
that's what they aiming for.
I feel like they
Yeah.
try to do a new Oni. But it just
Damn,
yeah,
that's a
nice.
deep cut, bro. That's a
can't
deep cut for you to say that.
they try to do.
Here's my
said what?
question. Here's
What's
my
up?
question. When is that new Witcher going to actually come out? Because that just got announced like We working on it.
You know when.
2020. Oh, when it's ready.
That
Yeah,
shit
when
may
it's
Or when
well
ready.
it's
be
not.
like a 2029 game, for all we know. When did
It's
they
when it's
start working on it?
when they say it was official development.
Yeah, because see, my thing is now I just add 7 years to whenever people say they started working on a game. If
Sound
I'm
about
off,
right.
I'm off by maybe a year, probably a year early.
Yeah, 7 years sounds about right. Especially like any game with like a heavy dialogue,
Open world.
story, open world, intense graphics, like all of those gonna take a long time. All of those compound.
If it's a linear game with a lot of dialogue and shit, you might be able to get that out in 4 years, 4 or 5
you
years.
can, yeah.
But anytime it's like open world, like yeah, you could say goodbye. That shit gonna take damn near the. And 7 years is such an insane number too, because I'm like that's a whole console generation. Like what
That's
are
why
we
everybody
doing?
can't do it. That's why everybody can't do it. Everybody can't afford to do that.
Absolutely not.
It's been
Like
and
there are already games being greenlit. In fact, last year there were games being greenlit and announced that's like PS6 games.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Maybe you might get one cross dual console game that just fit right there in that time frame where it's like on both.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, time to see some. Time to see some on that Kingdom Hearts 4, man.
I mean, have you not seen the rumors?
Built some buckles,
Rumors
my
going
guy.
around that game's supposed to come out next year.
I say like it's about time we saw that trailer soar out in the city with the new like more realistic graphics. I'm like, show I need to see something else, man.
That was about 2 years ago, right?
Yeah,
That was a good while back too. Yeah,
good minute.
Yeah, no, we do.
we
And
do.
I mean, like when you think about it, Rebirth is done, and
Yeah.
like they're
Yeah.
reducing the major games they have, or like
Mhm.
they're reducing all the games they have to like just a handful, and I guess trying to put more of like polish, time, and marketing into just the few that they're gonna put out. And so Kingdom
A
Hearts
lot of
5 seems like 4 seems like it'd be next
yeah.
up.
I almost feel like a lot of this shit is marketing, especially with those smaller titles when they came out. They don't advertise those titles at all.
I
Not
think
really.
a lot of those AA titles. I think if you had half as many last year or 2 years ago, and
With
they
more
had all
budget and more
received more
advertising.
polish and marketing, they would have all done
If
way
they
better.
split them, if they had split them between the years, truthfully, that's what they should have did with them 13,
Yeah.
taking so many, put them here, and then taking so many, put them in the next year.
Like what
And
is
then
it,
we could have
Star
seen
Ocean
stuff.
6?
Yeah, Star Ocean 6
Yeah.
to Divine Force.
That shit very clearly needed like maybe another year in the oven, and
Mhm.
then like more development time to like improve the graphics just a little bit, or at least like the art style of it, and then you could have put that
Mhm.
game out.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
shoot, that Valkyrie Profile game, you could have just kept that shit. That shit didn't play like Valkyrie Profile, didn't feel like Valkyrie Profile. Just
I mean, I'm not gonna give them credit for that one because I feel like they just wanted to put something out to match along with the property itself, and I see what y'all wanted, but I'm not okay with the fact that it was an action RPG because I played Valkyrie Profile Lenneth, and that game is amazing. I like that game a ton.
Dirty Sprite
good.
2.
Yeah.
Ain't get no more of
And how you
those.
go? Definitely ain't getting no more of those. But it's a damn shame Valkyrie Profile finna pretty much be on the shelf at this point. So
This probably
I
is
mean,
because that game. Actually, when I think about it, like I was looking at the demo and I saw like, oh yeah, I think when they released it, like you could get Valkyrie Profile Lenneth if you bought the game
if you
alongside. And
bought
I was
if you bought the digital deluxe edition, it would come
yes,
with the game with that game as it's the PSP game because that's what it is.
and I was
Valkyrie
like, it's sad that
Valkyrie
this
Profile Lenneth.
goddamn old Valkyrie PSP game is better than this game, like in every way. Characters, writing, combat, everything, just better.
Yeah. Yeah, like you could get that game if you bought it, and it go on sale just enough. It and Harvestella go on sale just enough for you to be able to see that and get it. So at that point, if you
Yeah,
just want to get VP Lenneth, you can get it on that
man,
sale right there if you want to
they
get
just
that,
didn't give
and
a
just not
fuck
worry
around
about a
that time.
listing.
They were just throwing everything at the wall.
Let's see, what was it? The World Ends with You, Valkyrie
Yep.
Elysium, Harvestella,
I
the
think this
Star
world ends
Ocean.
with you was the real big miss.
Yeah, it was because they
they
only
wanted that
advertised that
shit to.
game
They
once.
wanted that shit to really succeed. I don't feel
They
like the other
did, but
ones
they
were as
failed it.
push, but that one I feel like they wanted that one to succeed, and they just
Forgot
didn't.
about this game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've been
Oh my
hearing word about this.
god,
Other one I need to see some of.
bro! What the? When is this
Devin,
coming out?
word on this has been happening, and I think we may be seeing something this year because I think they like been talking about how close they really are to like getting this to coming out. I think so.
Yeah.
We might
I've
be
been hearing
seeing
the same
something
thing,
this
like
year.
something about like it got rated or some shit.
It got rated,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Be a good
So
year
we'll
for character
probably be
action
seeing
games.
something soon.
That's cool.
Because I've definitely been saying the same thing. Like, when is this shit coming out? And then seeing a tweet the other day that was like, "Hey, it's been rated, and there's possibility it could be some release date coming soon." I'm like, good, because I've been wasting my goddamn time.
Man,
I'm
what?
getting older, not no younger.
I've been looking at Low Solar Side. Low Solar Side grew up with us. That nigga don't even look the same.
He got lost.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Say it again.
He got lost. That nigga is our age now. We've been so long.
I'll be
Came
getting you
out,
soon,
well,
Stellar
it was
Blade.
announced
God
like
darn it.
before Final Fantasy 16 or after.
I think.
After.
Oh, that was.
Oh yeah, because it
that-
was made by one dude at first.
Yeah,
before they
made
got
by one
published.
dude.
Wait, excuse. Let me correct myself.
Yeah.
Did it come out? Was it announced after Final Fantasy 16 came out or before?
I want to say
I
after.
think it was after because it was kind of inspired visually by FF. You said 16
It was
or 15?
inspired visually by 15.
15.
Yeah.
15 came
Yeah,
out in
so-
2016.
So it was after 15, I think.
Oh, well,
Because I think
mean,
it was just. I think it was more of like a game that got like a lot of buzz around it because I think they had, what was it called, the Hero Project or something they had going on with Sony.
China Hero Project.
The
Yep.
China Hero Project, yeah,
Is this one of
they
those
had
games
that
too?
going on.
Is it part of
No,
Hero
this
Project?
no, this is not that. This is ain't this Black Myth called?
It's Black Myth. I'm
It
saying was
is,
Black
but-
Myth one of those games?
Good, man.
No,
I don't think so.
Okay.
no, that was just straight up game science. Like, look, bro, we gonna
Man.
push it.
Black Myth was one of those games where like I just seen so many different trailers. This game, this shit ain't real. Like, god damn, you really can fake a whole game. This shit had so many trailers, bro.
It
man.
has.
Cyberpunk had 45 minutes
It
of
did.
gameplay.
I watched every minute of it too.
I said, okay, well, this probably everybody.
And I
This
remember
probably
the shit
representative.
when you were on the wall, they took that shit out of the game. I was like, all right, all right. We ain't have enough
Bruh.
time to that wall shit you saw in that trailer. Yeah, we ain't enough time to do that shit. Fuck that.
This shit give out big Sekiro vibes.
It
It
does.
really do.
It
But
does.
Jesus Christ, look at it.
Look at me. Some will come, man. They ain't never gonna let you go, bro. You
For
really
what,
are
bro?
Goku.
He
Never gonna let
really
you
is
go.
him. He is him.
They love that nigga over there, bro. God dog.
Y'all seen Sayuki?
Journey West, baby.
I know, right? Y'all seen
used to
Dragon
have-
Ball? Y'all know what
remember
time
they
it is.
Remember they had those strategy RPG for Sayuki back in the day?
Yeah, yeah, it's a rare one, man. It's a rare one now. I think it go for like $100 now. I think it might have
Star
been on
Wars.
PS Classic Store. Don't quote me on that though.
Sorry.
If not,
What
I know
dang?
where I could play it at.
What's up, dog?
Another game that I really fucking want and I really hope is good.
Oh yeah, this here.
Oh yeah.
I think this is due out in like August,
Yeah.
like August 30th.
Oh,
I don't even care about
within,
Star
like,
Wars
what?
like that. I just want a sci-fi game that I can go out.
You
into
just
space
wanted you just wanted to be great. You wanted to play well.
and
Wanted to
meet
do everything you
aliens.
needed to do.
Just like I don't know why Bethesda was like, let's go out into space, but it ain't gonna be no aliens. Like, what's the fucking point?
I know, right? We're out in space, but ain't no extraterrestrials.
It's just us out here, and then we're looking for life. Like, what? Shut up.
It make it sound like life just got destroyed all through the galaxy. That's what that sound like. Just us.
Damn,
looking to find
even
them.
he's the block captain said, I ain't gonna lie. I'm looking at that video from earlier stage, the rap battle. He's the block captain said, I ain't gonna lie, he beat me. It could be 2-1.
God dang.
That's defeat, boy.
Well, he choked in one of them, so I mean, you already down one round for sure. Well, Drake on Instagram.
With the
Oh,
God of
Jesus.
War shit.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of
He
here,
quoted
bro.
God
Not
of
with
War and had
GOW.
Kratos.
Wow.
The guy
I'm
had
through,
quoted
bro.
Kratos. Like, get over yourself, bro.
Cannot defeat me. Of course, he's more active on IG with stuff like that. Is his thing. He said, "I will have my revenge."
Put some
I
respect
guess,
on
man.
People
You
just
better-
like, yep, cornball.
You better call Jay Prince, man.
me.
Jay Prince to hold him back like he did last time. Jay Prince said, "Daddy, man, I respect Jay Prince, man. I gotta go." Shout out Jay Prince. I'm looking forward to playing this.
It's as good as advertised, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm
Yeah, I'm
playing
looking
it.
forward.
I'm 7
I'll
chapters
say,
in.
man.
I'm about to go back to Eugene show. You've been
Okay.
in Hawaii
I'll
for a
say,
long time. I'm about to
man,
go
with the
back
way
to.
you be,
I just got to this.
I'll say, man, with the way you be posting screenshots, I know the game got to be good, so I gotta hop on it. I got to play it.
Man, I played Yakuza 7 back around. That was January, and I was playing this. I was like, man, why the f didn't I play this early? This game is amazing. This game is stupendous.
I did like low key that I got Nelson into it, and me and Nelson talking about it was like, you was like, you know what? I should go back to this. And you
I
went
did.
back to it. It was just like, yeah, this was the shit, wasn't it?
This is fire. Like, I was like, I like everything about this game. Yeah, I want more of this. Yes.
Give me
That
more.
that shit brought me back to being a Yakuza fan. Like, why not stop playing this shit? All of it was fire. Yeah, why not stop playing this? What's wrong with me? Get back on.
Hands, good ass
Let me shrug
story,
my shoulders, man. Let me get
Yeah,
back to my
good story.
good
get back to my
characters.
Dope
element.
characters.
It's nice to have characters that's like older than me, actually.
Yeah, older than me and can be relatable and actually likable.
Like that shit feels strange. All right, I hadn't seen none of this yet.
Yeah, so
Why does this man
you
look
gonna
like
get to
he
the
was
reason
pulled
why.
straight out of Yakuza Kiwami?
He probably was. Ain't no telling, bro.
Like they just took his model and said, "Hey, man, we remade it in Yakuza Kiwami. That's all we doing. Like we ain't got time for this other shit."
He said we ain't got
Yeah.
time to try to get his actor again.
Man,
We can't
that's one thing
afford
about
him.
the Yakuza series. You
Kamurocho?
talking Yakuza series. They will get rid of a dude and replace his actor real quick. Like it didn't, like nothing happened.
Only if you did drugs. Anything
only
else,
if
they
you
let you
did-
slide.
If you smoking that tweed, sniffing
But if
that
you did
coke,
some type of drugs, they getting you up out of there, buddy.
oh, you was out there smoking weed, bet. Replacing your face.
Yeah, my boy Michio.
Do y'all
Bono
think they announced
Michio.
Judgment 3 this year?
Ooh.
Ooh,
Or do they just stay quiet for the rest of the year?
that
I
sounds
think they-
stupid. Do they already have another
I
game
think-
on the docket already?
No.
They're gonna announce something.
don't-
They're just not the type of studio they are. They just not the
Yeah.
studio to stay quiet for a long time.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's completely fair.
I'm ready to see
Yeah.
some.
They'll pull up.
pop
They'll
from
pull up.
Sega.
they mess around and announce a new IP.
I
It's
actually
funny,
hoping that's what happens. You ready to see what,
Yeah.
Devin?
I'm ready to see a lot from Sega.
Yeah,
Shinobi.
Oh yeah. Shinobi,
Golden
the Jet
Axe,
Set Radio,
Jet
the
Set
Streets
Radio.
of Rage, and the
Man.
Golden Axe, like you said.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna.
F6.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. With all the stuff they got coming, they might need to do a conference like these other companies be having conferences. for their
Yeah,
games.
like
That's
it's their
a
own
lot.
little thing.
That's a
If
lot.
they're
to do.
already around the same time or like close to, I would do that.
Yeah, you do your
Hey.
own conference.
What the one know what they could do? Just go ahead and make this their new conference. Call it the Sega Channel. Go ahead and get going.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Go ahead and get started.
Go ahead and bring back mainline Fantasy Star, man. Go back.
Man,
Man, go ahead and do it
Boy.
because ESO2 NGS has been up.
Boy, I used to play them old Fantasy Star without looking with the back of the head. Boy, I used to play them the back of the head RPGs.
Shining Force. Man.
Shining Force was fire too. Shining
Hell
Force
yeah.
was fire too.
Get the shot.
They had some heat, man. They had some
You
heat.
know what? No, this is what we need. Shining Force 3 in full in the States because it never came in full over here.
Oh, it didn't?
What the fuck
No,
is
it
this?
didn't. It had
I
3
don't.
parts, bro.
You know what? I actually. Oh, it's Alone in the Dark. Okay.
Alone in the Dark. Okay.
Oh, that's right. It had a demo, didn't it?
Turd in the dark.
Yeah, it had a demo come out.
Oh, the demo wasn't
Damn,
good.
Devin.
I heard people say that the full release wasn't that great either.
Oh, is that
I
one?
did hear something like
Wow.
that.
I didn't know the game came out.
At least I didn't hear that.
That's probably a bad sign. I didn't remember the game coming out.
So here's the question: does this game
What's-
come out next year or 2026?
This is Wolverine, ain't it?
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
was
get
thinking
it.
2026 with all the stuff that happened.
Yeah,
Recently.
I was thinking
How
2026.
far along? It seemed like that was a lot. I mean, it was still super early.
It
So I
did
can't
seem like it
tell.
was early.
If it comes out 2026, it might be early 2026, like March.
I can see that.
Yeah, it's gonna be the early part of 2026 for this.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, this the perfect time to release this game now. After X-Men 97 came out, boy,
Perfect time for a trailer, I'll tell you that.
boy, that show
Every
did
time
number.
on
That
the
show
trailer.
is doing great.
Then you got him and Deadpool.
It's a roach.
So that's gonna be kind of decent.
Wolverine and Deadpool too. Yep. If you put out
Yeah,
a trailer, you could get a lot going for that.
I ain't gonna lie, yeah, with Wolverine, Deadpool, and X-Men 97, this is a great time to drop Wolverine.
What
Yeah,
the
this
fuck
is a
is this
great
gross
time.
ass shit?
This is Silent Hill 2 remake.
Oh yeah, Silent
And I'm not okay with the fact that they made it their business to show us combat for a psychological horror game, bro. It looked good.
This trailer was kind of equivalent of Jason the Cheeks.
Of what?
Pretty
Mm.
Jason the Cheeks. Silent Hill.
Cause like I was hyped for it by seeing this, but I'm just like, man, what can they show us going forward? And then they goofed it with the damn combat trailer. That's the only thing I can't stand about it. Like I did not like that at all. I know the music gonna be fire because they got the main person back. So shout outs to having him back, but it just depends on how this shit plays out. That's what it really depends on with Silent Hill 2. Because Silent Hill 2 is like one of the greats. And you bringing it back, it looks awesome.
I'm not gonna be just like, oh, who's still on the floor? It's nothing but knees, elbows, and ankles all in the air because I'm running for as fast as I can.
Head,
Yeah,
shoulders,
when
knees,
you
and
see
toes.
you see a large man with a big metal Dorito on his head, you gotta leave.
Oh my god.
I'm just telling you, bro.
See what he's doing, you definitely gotta leave.
Yeah, because you could be next.
I'll be Diddy on that helmet.
Oh no. That's
Diddy Hill 2.
You saying this shit, bro. I'm just like, bro, that's a manifestation of that man's guilt about something, bro.
Exactly what it is.
Everything go crazy and the world get dark and gritty and grimy. And Silent Hill, you just hear off in the distance. Take that. You're like, oh, gotta get away. Gotta get away. He's here.
Silent Diddy. You see him dancing and Diddy bopping the whole way.
I swear you see him
In
Diddy
slow
bopping
motion.
down the hallway, and all you hear is
There
more
you
money.
go.
All you hear is more money, more problems.
And you know that we don't stop. You know that we don't stop.
We don't stop.
Silent Hill ain't gonna stop.
Phantom Blade
Zero.
Zero.
I hope it's cool, but again, I'm like,
I swear I pray this game is good, bro.
questionable still.
I don't know, like these games that have these like high production values from developers nobody's ever fucking heard of. Yeah, I'm questionable.
Like I know a
Yeah,
lot
I'm
of
very questionable
like
about
the
it.
Chinese and Korean developers, they are really big right now on high graphic
Well,
stuff.
I will
Yeah.
say, Liza P is one game that makes me a believer of some of this stuff because those people were making nothing of their realm before, and it was like, yeah, we're gonna make kind of a AAA Souls like it's the best Souls like of any other Souls like.
And that's all I've been hearing about that game, and I still ain't even attempted to like
Visuals
get
were
it.
pretty
Like, I'm still
good.
waiting to get that. I'm waiting a little bit to get Liza P, and hearing your praises about it, bro. I'm looking to give it a try.
I still remember the first Liza P trailer. That trailer was lit as hell.
Daniel beat it.
I,
He
li-
was like,
I
"I'm
like what this game's doing because it's taking a different angle on the martial arts stuff, like the
Mhm.
Chinese martial
Yeah.
arts. That's a different vibe of type of combat instead of like traditional like katana samurai kind of combat. So that's kind of cool.
It's kind of
And it's like Chinese martial arts movies.
What's the game? Genji.
Oh, you mean
Oh, okay.
Genji, Tail of the Blade?
Yeah,
Genji.
that's a series.
Yeah,
Oh, wow,
I think I got a copy of that
That's a
game.
throwback.
So-
It is. It reminds me of the movement like Bujinga.
Ooh, Bujin guy.
I appreciate y'all bringing
Yeah.
up actual old games
Yeah.
because, like,
We
it
o-
just reminds
we
me of
old
that
heads,
stupid.
man.
It reminds me of that dumbass TikTok I seen online and had to say something about.
I seen that because
That nigga had a lot of nerve. He was like, if you say your favorite games are Ghost of Tsushima, Red Dead 2, and Last of Us, you just boring and you got no taste. I'm like,
What games? What do you?
and then
Those
he
are-
was like, you got to say
What?
something with some culture, like Persona 3 and 4 or Resident Evil.
You
Uh,
took
I'm gonna be real
the
with you, bro.
most
I
popular
watched that
games.
video.
You
I watched that
took one-
video and I got mad because I'm like, you're not gonna disrespect me as a fan by saying this shit and making me look bad. Don't ever
And
do
you're a
that shit.
Persona fan. This,
And I'm a
that
Persona fan,
definitely-
and I'm a
this
Resident
definitely
Evil
like
fan.
Bujinga now. Holy crap! Oh my god.
he also brought it was it GTA Vice City. I'm like, bro, those just the most popular games of like 20 years ago. Like, you don't get no stripes for that.
Yeah, it's
Like,
not.
bro, like get out of here. Like it's so
Shout out
much
for you.
more out there.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, like it's fine. Like Resident Evil's, Last of Us, like those games are highly regarded, and those are
Yeah,
different types of
right.
games. Like those aren't even the same type of game.
I
what
think
I'm
his
saying,
point
right?
was he was like, oh yeah, you know, if your favorite games are like the most popular AAA titles, you don't have like any
Mhm.
taste. And
So
I'm
you
like,
took the absolute most popular horror series and one of the most popular JRPG series as examples.
and GTA Vice City.
One of the
The
most
most
popular
pop-
of its series.
Not really a
Yeah.
good-
There's not a great argument at all.
No,
I'm like,
it's
if your
not.
argument is about popularity, like just because you pick some old popular titles, they were still popular in a time span.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And you talking about
and
old
despite
game,
that-
like you just took games that were more modern and just went old and like you ain't got no taste. You
Yeah.
should play this game for 20 years ago. Like that argument's whack.
yeah, that
Absolutely.
argument is purely
I mean,
whack.
I don't know. I would say you have. I don't know. Playing
That child is very much adorable, but that right here, I'm pretty sure this is the paper saying, "I'm sorry, we ain't coming out till XYZ." I'm pretty
That's
sure that's
what
the
it
paper,
is.
right?
We're
Yep.
very sorry.
Yeah, very
when
sorry.
we coming out.
We don't know
When
when the
is
fuck
it
this
coming
game coming out.
This
This
shit
is a
hard,
horror
man.
game.
That's what I'm saying.
But
I thought it was
clearly
a whole,
not.
it ain't.
Also, she's clearly a robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's clearly a robot. Yeah,
It's a
'Cause
robot
that nigga wearing a
rescue.
spacesuit, she just straight out there.
Actually, the spacesuit combat could be cool if they do it right. That could be cool.
It looked like Vanquish. That's what it looked
It
like.
kind of does, yeah.
you know what I was also thinking about? Probably Lost Planet. What was it? Lost Planet 3?
Yeah, that's
Somebody game want to be good, boy.
they fell off hard with that one.
I hope this is good.
Oh, this
Ain't this
no,
they did No Man's Sky, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what this is called, but I remember seeing this and I was like, bro, you
Light
putting in
no
all this
fire.
work.
Yep.
Light no
Light
fire.
no fire.
no lands earth.
Yeah, light no fire.
It's
Thank
like
you.
instead of like putting 100 million planets, it's like, what if we just make one big planet with a shitload of biome?
Yeah, like what if we just give y'all all this space to work with? All this cool shit.
All these hands. Get these.
All these hands, all these rocks, trees, birds. Yeah, mountains, sea life, everything.
You know you're gonna get about 100 million updates. We know we're gonna update the dog shit out of this game.
He said
least
if there's
expect it.
anything wrong, we in there. Or the game froze when you got to the middle of the mountain. Bet we gonna fix it, and you can get to the top. No loading. Like what?
They'll put a city at the top of the mountain.
Hell yeah, gonna give you a reason to go. Oh, there wasn't nothing there last update, but this update we terraformed that. So yeah,
Low
go
key,
on
I
up
need
there
to,
and enjoy the people.
Wow, that's actually the same
Oh.
symbols from No Man's Sky, like the monster or whatever, or the giant.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder if this is like in the No Man's Sky universe.
I mean, it's a
It
lot of
could be.
planets. Oh yeah.
It is a lot of
could be
planets
one
in
of
that
many
universe.
planets.
So.
Right there.
You said that was Star Fox?
Sleep,
Star
not
Fox.
Sleepy, but Peppy.
Oh yeah.
Man.
When do you think we see something from this again?
No time soon.
No time soon.
Maybe like next year's Game Awards or
That sounds
next
like the
year's
third game.
Summer Game Fest.
That's like the name of the third game.
Yeah,
No
I was
time
saying,
soon.
No time soon.
The trilogy complete. No time soon.
I'll never forget when that trailer started playing and people was in. I think there was in the comments like during the stream
It's
that's
your
like, look,
game,
bro, we
Devin.
get it. You don't have to apologize anymore. It's fine. We know the game is being worked on. Please stop working. Go sit down.
No.
Now I got more for you. I'm like
He was like,
Kendrick.
no, I'm
I ain't
doing
stop. I ain't stopping. I got more.
Give me more content.
it.
Say that we won't stop. Say that we won't stop.
I'm looking forward to this too because I think this is pretty interesting. Plus, it being in the DNF universe is really dope. So we get some like major lore on a certain like class and a character.
That's cool. I hate that like they canceled the rebooted like the big MMO.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what other projects they got coming out, but I mean I'm glad they're like focusing on different projects. Like working with Arxis for the fighting game and then like this game. I mean, it showed us trying to branch out the IP a little bit, which I'm always cool with.
It's crazy that they still releasing DLC for the fighting game.
Yeah, yeah, it is actually. You go on PC and it's like 50 people playing it.
They don't care. They like, hey man, put out some more DLC for it.
Fighting games
Max will
have a
play it.
long leg because fighting game numbers always go up when a new character comes out. The day a new character comes out, people always go back to the game. So as long as you keep doing that, you're going to get some money at some level.
That man Max like, yeah, I'll play it. Because Max fucked with DNF Duel heavy.
He did. But it's rough, man. It's rough to play a dying fighting game. Anybody who's played fighting game love it. When you get in them online lobbies and you just realize it's you and you fought the same nigga 3 times in a row. And I remember the other night I was playing like last month. This does not bode well for Grand Blue. I beat this guy was playing Fairy and I was playing Siegfried. Siegfried is one of the better characters in the game, and he's my main, and I play him basically every time I play the game. So this person, it felt like they were new because I rushed them down and double perfected them, and they rage quit.
I mean, yeah.
And I proceeded to run into that dude 3 times in a row. He rage quit every single time.
You was
I was like,
beating ass.
Yeah. And then after that, I kept running into another guy who I had a real trouble with. Lucilius player was beating my ass. And I kept running into him. I'm like, oh, that's bad. Keep running the same like 2 people over and over again. That's not a good sign.
What was the last new character they dropped?
Last new character they dropped was like last month. His name was Vayne. He's one of the
okay.
the Dragon Knights. And the next character comes out this month.
Damn, it ain't like they have a long time between updates. So this is Where Winds Meet, I believe.
Yep. Yeah, Where Winds Meet.
Yet another game where I'm like, I'm gonna need to see some.
Sure am. This is the one that was definitely inspired by Ghost of Tsushima but a little freer combat.
Hold on. What the fuck was that?
What?
That running animation was suspect. Hold on.
All right, let's see.
What was that?
Mm-hmm.
That nigga ran fast as fuck.
Sure did. Now you in a ninja stance. I don't know. Whatever. Is there a Chinese equivalent for ninjas? I don't know.
Oh, almost assuredly, but I don't know what they are.
I don't know what they're called.
I will say this game is in beta right now, like closed beta testing.
Okay, that's good.
So I mean,
is it going to have an online component at all, or?
I think this is just a way of them testing the game to see how good it is.
Okay,
but it might have online. You never know these days.
Man, good luck to any game that can get out, have a cool looking art style, some cool combat, and be a solid game. I'm rooting for you.
Yeah.
Cause so much bullshit in this industry. You just come out, make a good game. Hold on, man. That feels like a Souls reference. When I see a nigga with a scythe and a blood moon.
I mean, they definitely at the end of all these trailers, there's always like some overly dramatic ass like this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
just a mountain of fucking armor and bodies, and
Yeah.
then one
Bodies,
dude sitting
bodies,
atop
bodies.
bodies, the biggest mountain.
Bodies. Him.
Like,
Yep.
Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts 2.
They're all dead. All dead.
Zen
Man, got
Kingdom Hearts.
Panther for no reason. Man, I tell you, when you see a dude in some like Asian drama and that hair come down, it about to fuck you
It's
up,
about
bro.
to get serious.
It's about to get real.
It's about to get dead ass in
That
there.
long hair don't care. They on your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of games
Marvel.
we won't see until like the start of next decade,
Bethesda.
But there's
fucking Blade.
Boy, we definitely ain't seeing that no time soon.
They said
Oh,
they
yeah, we
just started
definitely
on it.
doing
I was
that
like,
thing,
oh
man.
yeah, it's about 6 years off.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's a ways away. Unless they just out there just getting everything
Man,
together.
shout out to Arcane for having some games with black protagonists, though. I appreciate that.
Facts, because they did it with Deathloop, and now they're doing it with this, and they did it a little bit with
Mhm.
Dishonored, huh?
Yeah.
Man.
Oh yeah, one of the DLCs, yeah, black woman protagonist. Yep,
Oh,
that was
yeah.
like the third expansion, and they put it in a bundle. Basically, it's 3 games. I wouldn't want a Nick Blade either. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Well, I mean, you don't want him. You don't want to be bleeding next to a vampire.
Yeah.
Bro thought he was cooked.
This trailer was cool. This
Yeah,
trailer
it
was cool. Well, I remember niggas was hyped for this trailer, boy.
I remember this kind of leaked not long before the Game Awards,
It did.
but I was like, I don't believe it. So I like, we'll see. And then as soon as I saw the close, I said, this fucking Blade.
Mhm.
Holy shit.
Persona 3 remake. So
I gotta get back
Will,
to it. What's up?
how's been the response for Persona 3 remake? I haven't really been paying attention to it. Was
Okay,
it well
so
received? Did people like it? Were there changes? What's going on with
I-
that?
okay, so just to reference like our whole fandom thing, like I said, how there's always like 2 sides to every fandom. There's that side that's really
Who
enjoying
knows when we
things,
see
and then
this?
there's that other side that's just kind of like about shit or just really weird or toxic. On the side that I'm on, which is the side that just enjoys shit, I've seen a lot of positive response to it. A lot of people really loving it. A lot of people having fun. People are picking up their first persona with that game. But then there's a lot of people who are just like, man, this remake ain't good. It's taken away from this, that, and the third, da 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 da. Like they being real nitpicky. And I don't see a lot of the problems with it because so far, as in my experience with the game, I think I got like maybe 20 something hours in the game. And so far, I will admit, it is easy. It is pretty easy right off rip. I'll tell you that now. Like it's a game that I think that you can kind of breeze through once you learn the systems. But because the systems aren't hard. It's just like once you understand how a Persona game plays, you can get through it. But it's a good game. It's a really good game. Soundtrack's amazing. Art style's great. I'm glad it's in the Persona 5 engine. Like, what more can I really say about the game? Persona 3 Reload is pretty goddamn awesome. And then the DLC is coming out, but that's the only thing I really have to knock against it. But that's not necessarily the game's fault. That's Atlas's fault. And I hate them for that decision of being like, oh, there's a pass. I'm like, great. And they giving us that extra thing that we're supposed to be getting the answer, which is basically like a prologue, like a prologue or epilogue to the story. And what they doing is they front loading it with like cosmetics and OST stuff and then putting it at the end. So I'm just like, that's not how you do this.
Oh, I
Well,
got you.
So
no, I mean, like, as
yeah.
far as I know, that's always how you do it, like how it's done. Like, you give them the light stuff first and then, like, the really heavy DLC later.
Yeah, I understand the process, but it just looks really bad because we know how Atlas is, especially for a lot of us who deal with them. They have like really bad DLC practices. So, but then again, that's a lot of companies, so I can't
am
necessarily
not
just
familiar with
pinpoint
this
that.
game. What is
I've
this?
literally never heard
Yeah,
of this.
what is this? I
It's
haven't
like
either.
an
yeah.
ARPG with everybody has dragon power. It's like
Yeah.
dragonflies,
$40
maximize for my
$40.
OGs.
So
I
yeah,
had
$40
the
for like that
VHS set for
DLC
that, so
is
I always
like
remember
not
that
cool
series.
for a lot of people right now.
Okay.
So
Got a
Okay.
Misty Wave
Yeah.
in the chat. Bro, Final Fantasy. Do we react to music?
I mean,
We
we
did
did
tonight.
react to music
Yeah.
earlier.
We did tonight.
Yeah, we did tonight. We did tonight.
Not usually our thing.
Yeah, we
It's
normally
not
do.
usually our thing, but we did it tonight though.
Yeah. For anybody in chat, thank you for coming and watching. Normally our content revolves more so around gaming, anime, geek culture in general. But tonight, there was so much conversation around like the Kendrick Drake beef, and we are hip hop fans as well. Most of us are hip hop fans, so we decided to cover it in the beginning. We listened to the latest Kendrick Lamar song, talked about the status that's going on in the beef right now, and like our thoughts on the back and forth and what would happen in the future. We talked about that in the beginning. So if you want to, eventually when the VOD comes out, go back to the beginning of that and take a look. We had a conversation about it.
That was a damn good recap.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate y'all coming through. Right now we're talking about gaming and it's going over some stuff from like previous games we saw and like what's going on in the gaming industry. So feel free to stay and talk to us.
Yeah, like chat it up with us, talk it out.
So
Yeah.
We are open to the conversation.
see. All right, I think we tapped on video games for a little bit. I do want to ask y'all before we wrap up the stream, what anime y'all keeping up with?
Oh, I can tell you right now. Although I didn't watch today. Kaiju number 8, baby. I'm loving Kaiju number 8. I did not know this was going to be more of at least so far, it's been funny as hell. Yeah. It has been quite comedic, and I did not expect it to be that. I thought it was going to be way darker in the beginning. It probably could still lead to that, but I've been enjoying Kaiju number 8 a lot. Really enjoying that. I guess other than that, I need to catch up on Mushoku. I'm not all the way cut off Mushoku Tensei yet. The My Hero Academia, I know that comes out tomorrow, right? Or is it today? I guess.
I mean,
new season.
Yeah.
So I gotta catch up on. I'm so far behind on My Hero Academia, man. Who knows?
I swear I'm behind on it, yo, for real. I'm super behind.
This been mine right now.
Oh,
fucking Konosuba.
I already knew you were gonna get into the Konosuba.
カズマさん、これは売れますよ。こちらのデストロイヤー型も自信作です。もう火打ち石は不要というわけか。これは私も一つ欲しいな。
This music is
どう
killing
ぞ
me.
どうぞ。私ももらいます。クスクス。ライター一つで何を喜んじゃってるのかしら。私も一つ。
I've never seen Konosuba.
何すんの？私にも選ばせてよ。
いや、お前は金払えよ。
なんでよ。なんでダクネスとメグミンはよくて、私だけダメなのよ。
お前何もしてないだろ。メグミンにはこれを作るの手伝ってもらったし、ダクネスには大手卸売業者のコネを紹介してもらったんだぞ。お前は安くてクッチャンにしてただけじゃねえか。分け目欲しいなら外で客引きの一つでもしてこい。
Hey, maybe listen to Drake versus Kendrick themselves, huh? Throwing out diss tracks.
Hey man, I'm behind by like an episode, I think. But I fucking love this show, man. It's so fucking silly.
Okay.
Protagonist is just like, he's a degenerate, but he's also like the smartest person in the group. Everybody else, they're all like cripplingly over specialized. Like the the tank, she can't hit anything. She has no accuracy. All she can do is take hits. Coincidentally, she's also a masochist. The mage, she know one spell. That spell is powerful as fuck. It'll obliterate anything you hit, but she can use it once a day. That's it. And she refuses to learn any other spell. She's like, well, if this is the most powerful spell, why would I learn anything else? And then the chick that you just seen that he was arguing with, Aqua, she's like a goddess, but like she's just useless at everything. She can heal. She's a really good healer, but she can't do shit else. And he's got to find a way to like beat a demon lord just in case, just for the sake of potentially going back home. And like, man, it's got so many parody moments for isekai anime. It's just so fucking, for every episode has me in tears. First episode was a little weak, but after that, like, so good.
Yeah,
they got
that boy from Cautious Hero. He'll get it right. Demon King.
Yeah, Cautious Hero. Yeah, that's true. I'm now on the anime side, but also been watching that X-Men 97. I just caught up on that.
Oh yeah,
I gotta go ahead next.
That's solid. Yes, you do.
I gotta catch up on X-Men 97. I'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
I just caught up on Windbreaker, which has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've been watching that too.
That one was. Oh, I'm glad y'all keeping up. What episode are y'all on?
I'm caught up. Oh, I didn't watch today's episode.
I actually
But
ended up starting that today.
I had caught up Sunday to the most recent episode, so I'd already seen they met the rival gang, and they met the leader, and he was a botanist. That was a nice little twist on that.
I won't spoil anything for because I read the manga. Like I was digging it so much, I was like, I'm gonna read the manga. So I just went ahead and checked out some of the manga, and I read a lot of it, and like it's fire. Like even the manga is pretty good, so I've been pretty much in on it. What else have I been checking out? Reincarnated as the Seventh Prince. I've been checking that out. That's been weird.
So yeah, I was wondering about that. I remember when the trailers came out, it was actually kind of one of the animes that had really good trailers. So I was wondering like how the show was. It's just been weird.
I mean, like it's not bad. It's just weird. Like the protagonist, he's not anything like what you would expect him to be. He's just obsessed with being a mage, like, and being like the most powerful mage. And like he'll like you'll see him do things where you're like, why would you do that? And it's all for the sake of him becoming more powerful. He's not dislikable. He's not unlikable because the stakes are so low. But like it is very much okay. I see, what your goals are, what your plans are, and if it was more serious, I probably would be like, I'm gonna cut this show off. But because it's so comedy based, it's like it's fun enough to watch from week to week.
So
you should give it a shot.
So is it like Wise Man's Grandchild, but say fuck everybody else? I'm just gonna be the best mage I can.
Yes, it's a little closer to that.
Yeah.
Because the protagonist, he like goes to a secret underground library and shit, and he was like, "Oh, I'm finna break into this library and see what kind of stuff I can find." He unleashes this demon. The demon's like, "Oh yeah, y'all done let me out. I'm back up to my fuckery." But like the protagonist is already stronger than the demon, so they get into a fight. But the fight, it ain't no fight. The demon just get his ass beat for like 15 minutes or whatever. And after a while, he was just like, "Fuck, I can't beat this nigga. I better like I better like convince him to work with me. Maybe I can teach him some spells, and then when I get the chance, I can take over his body." But he ain't got no chance because the main protagonist is just so much more powerful than he is. So I fuck with that one a little bit. I definitely have been fucking heavy with Tsukimichi.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that.
It's managed to dodge the problem that Reincarnated as a Slime has, where like the protagonist is so powerful that nobody can do anything to him, and it's like, because like the end of season 2 of Reincarnated as a Slime just left such a nasty taste in my mouth. Because not only did he didn't beat the main villain or the villain that had been causing all the fuckery. He didn't beat that villain, but like his fifth in command, his like fifth strongest soldier beat him on some like handle my light work type shit. I was like, you sucking the tension out of this, right?
That's starting to feel like Overlord.
Overlord. Yeah,
where
it's
like
a lot
his
like
servants are more powerful than he has to hold his servants back. He has to make them lose.
Yep. Tsukimichi is not like that. The protagonist, he's overpowered, but he's not trying to take over. And so like he'll find himself in situations where like unless he's just going to kill everybody, he's kind of fucked. Like he's trying to do business, operate as like a businessman. He gets way in over his head, and like every mistake, everything he tries to do just fucks up. He's like trying to come up with solutions to the situation, and the dude he's talking to is like, nope, that ain't it. And everything he comes up with is like, everything you say is just making you seem more naive about the situation. And so like that's been like pretty entertaining to watch. He tried to work with an opposite side because it's like the humans and the demons are at war. He was like, fuck it, I go work with the demons. The demons hold him out. He was like, man, fuck, I don't know what to do now. So that's been pretty cool. Of course, Kimi, you hadn't caught up to Mushoku Tensei, have you?
No, I'm not caught up. I was gonna watch it once again. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. I'm just trying to beat it. It's been sucking up. It's like one of the games where like I need to finish it, but I'm going to do everything too. Like I'm not gonna skip. Like it's so well organized to do shit, and the fast travel is so accessible. I have no excuse not to do it. So I'm
say it again, bro. That fast travel is a lifesaver.
Just today, I wrapped up pretty much all the side quests I can do until I go back to
Corel.
Yeah, the gold saucer for the second half of chapter 12. I've wrapped up every side quest. I've completed all the regions. I've gotten all the summons. I've done all the the intel stuff. I just got done doing a side mission at the Shinra Manor with Vincent, and they got like some extra battles you can do there. And I'm doing the stuff on the ship where you go to the different islands, do the pirate treasure. You got to fight a boss on every island. That's been interesting. Yeah.
Man, it's crazy. It's like I hope I have the time for that game when it finally comes to PC. This has been
Pace
wild.
yourself. Just pace yourself.
Yeah,
I'm trying.
It's a lot of game, boy. You can lose yourself in that game.
That game is a game.
And I'm trying to keep my pace in Yakuza like a Dragon. I've been playing that lately. I've been trying to, like I said, I've been trying to get back to that. I just went back to Dondoko Island. I'm trying to build up my money because that's like the easiest way to build up a nice little size of funds for yourself. Like it's easy enough to, like, as long as you bring guests to the island, you build a good enough island. And I'm trying to like level up the island. But it's interesting because even when because I did cheat for that segment of the game and gave myself extra resources. But like, even when you do that, that doesn't necessarily make it a cakewalk. Because now to like build up the island, they're like, oh, you got to make it a 5-star resort. And I was like, how the fuck do I do that? And it was like, you got to get to this level of popularity and this level of comfort or whatever the fuck it was. But like, the only way to get the comfort up is by putting enough buildings on the island to like level that shit up. The problem is after a while, you have to start being strategic in your placement, figuring out where, okay, like you've got 5 different mini islands to work on, and each island has different areas and shit you could, and you still got to figure out like, okay, how am I going to place all this shit to bring the maximum number of people here, but also raise the popularity and shit. It's like, it's an experience in itself. And that's not even the main game. That's a whole side thing. And then there are other side things that are almost as in depth. It's like, fuck. Like it's just like Final Fantasy in terms of how, like, man, the side quests will eat your time up.
Yeah. You got to pace yourself in these games. It's quite easy to burn yourself out, but if you pace yourself just right, you'll be fine.
I mean, I've been bouncing around from game to game for like weeks now.
You turn into me.
I mean, I have plans on beating them all, but like nothing is, since I beat Trails into Reverie, nothing's gotten its hooks in me.
Just that, I know what you're talking about.
I get that.
I finally got to chapter 6, beat chapter 6, and chapter 6 for Like a Dragon gave me like the main villain and told me like, okay, it was this nigga the whole time, and I was like, oh shit, okay, and that kind of makes me want to come back to that game. But other than that, like I've been playing like The Division, Enshrouded, Horizon Forbidden West a little bit, and just like really small chunks and shit. And like I've just been just bouncing around trying to find something that I love enough to be like, all right, I'll sit here and play this for like hours on end.
That happens to me all the time, especially after like a major game I put a lot of time into. I have this area of my time where I get in malaise, where like my head is like, I don't know what I want to play. I try a whole bunch of different experiences. Sometimes I'll play some old stuff. You see me playing. That's when you start seeing me play like fucking what's that game with the ninjas? Warframe. Start playing Warframe out of nowhere. I'll start playing. You see me play Destiny. If you know, if I'm in that mode, I'll go back to freaking Elder Scrolls Online. That's my go-to in between when I don't know what the fuck I want to play. I'm gonna play Elder Scrolls Online like a month.
I've been trying to tell myself go back and but play through the stories for No Man's Sky and Genshin Impact and all them other games where it's like this game has no end, but at least catch up to where the campaign is right now.
Yeah,
and like it's just so much of it eats up your time that it's like, man, I ain't got time for all that.
That's why I'm like at the point like, you know what? I'm starting to get to the point like if it's a game I know I'm gonna play, I will play it and get through it. If it's a game I don't feel like I'm gonna put the time into, like I'm not gonna go back to play all of Warframe story. I'm just gonna watch on YouTube.
That's fair.
Sometimes you're actually more interested in the universe and the world than getting through the actual game. And that's okay. I think that's okay.
Devin, what you playing right now?
Actually went back playing Lies of P.
That man love that game.
You know,
Okay. Okay.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Enjoy that.
Roll it off. It makes you happy. I've been playing Destiny 2. I'm getting ready for the Final Shape DLC coming out. End of a 10-year saga.
Actually, I wanted go ahead and get that in the early access for no rest of the wicked.
What?
Oh yeah. What is going on?
What did
I
my eyes
mean,
do?
yeah, he's just so powerful. He's just constantly doing awesome. This makes me want to go back because I'm like a couple episodes behind on this, but I did want kind
Is
of
there a new season of ReZero?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a new season of torture porn isekai.
Oh, that's the first official trailer for it.
I
Yeah,
believe it's
gotta-
out. I could be wrong. Wait, no,
Okay.
that might be a this fall thing. I think that's a this fall thing.
Okay.
Because Terrence would have brought it up. Will, what about you, man? What you been playing on stream other than Final Fantasy VII?
Other than Final Fantasy VII, well, off stream, really, like I said, I've been doing Romance Saga 3 because I want to do a write up on that game since I've been
Off
kind of
stream.
touching on the series, and I've been playing Dead Cells here and there.
Hey, Dead Cells is fun, man.
Man, I finally got into like a rhythm with it, and I started figuring out how it plays and how some of the mechanics and stuff work. I'm like, man, this game is really fucking fun. Like I really do. Yeah, that's a show that I got on my list too.
Dang.
Like I said,
I don't know why, but seeing the anime, I'm like the opposite of most
I got
people.
quite a few things
I
on it.
regret not reading the manga when I first saw it. I was interested in reading it when I first saw it.
I had never heard of this.
It's a webtoon. It was on
Yeah,
webtoon.
I heard of this, but I didn't realize it was getting a show till I started seeing stuff.
I remember when it came out. Like I remember when the manga came out.
I clicked it because like I need something to convince me to watch this. All right.
Well, you got a little slob on your lip, don't you?
Yeah, he got like a
Oh, is it a lip ring?
Lip ring.
Oh, it's a lip ring. Okay.
What? Your head gonna hurt like a bitch.
I swear, bro, you gonna hate yourself in the morning. That's not how this works.
Huh? Man, hell no.
The whip don't hurt if you get hit early.
I ain't get the full extension on that. I ain't get the full extension on that, man. Maybe that work in boxing. If you got experience taking fight, get hit.
That's a good point.
That is good.
If they regular just like you.
Weaving.
Trying to learn some skills from the Weaving Nation.
This chicken man, his costume is killing me.
I swear, bro.
Man, head movement is immaculate.
The fact he's using his head to block.
I'm gonna need you to actually punch this man at some point, though.
I swear, bro, I'm gonna need you to pull one out on him. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
All right, I'm about to sit down with this. I just added it to my watch list because I've been seeing about it, but yeah.
I mean, it
Yeah,
seemed
yeah.
like it might be all right.
Seems interesting enough, bro.
Man, they announced the new season Blue Lock yet? I'm ready to watch some more of that shit.
Did you
I
catch
think
up
there's
on
a
the old
movie
season?
coming out.
I'll watch it this week. I'm almost done with the season.
I'm gonna definitely have to
Exus,
catch
the
up on,
complete collection. Huh.
I'm gonna definitely have to catch up on Kaiju number 8.
Oh,
Yeah, that.
I only seen the first episode.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. You'll probably like it.
All right, man. It's definitely getting late. I'm not gonna keep y'all on the stream. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, for the time y'all tuned in. We're gonna be back next week on the podcast, not on the live. We'll be back next week on the podcast. Y'all check us out, youtube.com /no level cap. I believe that actually does work.
No, no.
At no level cap. I believe that does work.
Or at
No
work,
level
son.
cap.
But yeah,
dope.
we'll see y'all on the next stream, y'all. Peace out.
All right. Take it easy.
Peace.
Peace.